No time to waste. We will definitely see one finale today. We will definitely see one finale. We are finishing Process of Elimination if it fucking kills me. And then we're going to try very hard to finish Demon School as well. I think we have about 2 weeks in game of Demon School to finish. But if we start doing it, you know, throughout this afternoon, and it seems like it's not in the cards that it's not going to be able to finish today, then I'm not going to kill myself to do that. But I'm going to try very hard. I would love to. If it has to spill into tomorrow, fine. So be it. But really, Process of Elimination. I found a video this morning so that once we finish Process of Elimination, I found like a video I obviously didn't watch it because I didn't want to, so I haven't vetted it. But it seems like it's a collection, like half-hour long, of the New Game Plus additional cutscenes or something, somehow. Which I'm not obviously going to do a New Game Plus run of this game, so it would be nice to just watch that after this. So yeah, we start revealing a lot of shit. We start retracing our steps in previous cases in this game. And now it's time to finish it all. As always, that black SPX is standing guard outside. Although it is intimidating, its intimidating presence has me daunted. Oh, starting off bad. I begin discussing the next part of my investigation. Sorry to bring you guys out, but there's actually something we've got to do here. I assume the last update we got on the timing was like 1 hour till the collars detonate. So I would assume we're gonna find something out before those detonate. I assume a reveal is probably gonna happen soon, like a big reveal soon here, right? I haven't a clue what you're intending. Would you mind finishing this up sooner rather than later? I don't care if that machine is merely sitting there like a scarecrow. It's quite unpleasant for one of my gentility to be in such close proximity to it. I wonder if this is a really good idea. Couldn't we, head back to the research facility? This won't take long, just give me a second. Don't worry, I promise the SPX won't attack us. You figured out what the SPX, or the black SPX tracks, haven't you? I hate saying SPX. SPX. I give a nod, continuing my explanation. So first, now that we know the truth behind the case of the dismembered detective, I'll explain how another one parallels it. The one where Workaholic and Renegade died. The case of the Paradox murders. You said a bit ago that Workaholic had also committed suicide, right? Workaholic, like Senior, prepped in advance, rigging a trap where he'd get electrocuted when Renegade reset the breakers. I understand that much. But what method did Workaholic use to kill Renegade? The fact that his death resulted in 3 total commands was circumstantial, no? Simply dying as an observer would generate enough commands to detonate Renegade's collar. So in this situation, the act itself is tantamount to homicide.
外道探偵自身にブレーカーを上げさせることで結果的に自殺のような構図にしたことです。
The most wicked facet of Workaholic's scheme was that it required Renegade to throw the breaker, practically making it a double suicide.
あいつは命を背負わせることに執着していた。
Renegade was fixated on making people shoulder the heavy weight of the lives they took.
誰かを巻き込むこともできずに自分自身の責の下で爆死する。その上原因になった社畜さんも亡くなっていて自分の命を誰にも背負わせることができない。
But his actions forced him to bear his own death by explosion, with no way to impose it on another. Worse yet, the true guilty party was already dead.
それは外道探偵にとって何よりも耐え難い屈辱だったと思います。
This all would have been the ultimate disgrace from Renegade Detective's point of view.
なるほど。それは確かにあの男にとって最悪の結末ですわね。
I see now. That would indeed be a nightmare scenario in his mind.
芸道探偵の性格から考えるに死ぬ間際まで誰かに自分を殺させようとあがくと思いますわ。
Going by his general demeanor, he undoubtedly was frantic, hoping to make someone kill him before he died.
じゃあまさか芸道探偵がエレベーターに挟まれて死んだのって。
So that means Renegade getting trapped and dying in the elevator was...
きっとわざとだよ。外道探偵にとって爆弾で死ぬくらいなら誰かの手で動いたエレベーターに挟まれて死ぬ方がずっといい。
Definitely premeditated. If he was going to die from the bomb anyway, getting killed by someone operating the elevator would be more preferable.
あいつは最後の最後まで誰かに命を背負わせることにばかり執着し続けたんだ。
Until the very end, he was possessed by a fervent desire to make someone else bear the burden of his life.
狂っていますわね。
How utterly mad. You said it.
でも奴は説明するその瞬間まで自分の信念を貫いたんだと思います。
You said it, but he did stick to his principles, I'll give him that.
だからこそ奴の死に顔は満面の笑みだったんです。
Which is precisely why he died wearing such a satisfied grin. The smile on his dead face truly seemed to be one of contentment. We don't know who did Renegade in, but he somehow managed to get himself killed by another, flooding him with total euphoria. Not that I can emphasize or have any interest in doing so, but, empathize, I mean. But in some odd sense, he really lucked out with this one.
理屈はわかりましたが、どうして社畜探偵は自ら死を望んだのでしょうか。と少女は改めて疑問を口にする。
I follow your logic, but why would Workaholic want to take his own life? Said the girl, posing yet another question.
それを言うならローシちゃんもね。二人ともベテランの域の探偵よ。
And why would Senior, for that matter? They were both veteran sleuths, you know?
彼らを手玉に取るどころか自殺に導いてしまうなんてただものじゃないわ。おそらくその人物こそが八つ咲き校なのでしょうね。
This goes beyond mere manipulation. They were led to kill themselves. No way it was the work of an ordinary person. Most likely the Duke did this.
探偵として実績豊富な人物たちを自分の仲間へと引き込む。もしかしたらそのカリスマ性こそ八つ咲き校の真の能力かもしれないですね。
He was able to draw a number of seasoned detectives to his side. Maybe his true ability is his charisma.
それで八つ咲き校の正体は誰なの？
But then, who actually is the Duke?
地下迷宮で出会った時の社畜探偵は自殺の気配なんてありませんでした。おそらく地下の研究棟で何らかの接触を受けたのでしょう。
When we crossed paths with Workaholic in the maze, he didn't seem suicidal. He probably had an encounter while in the research facility.
それはおそらく私たちの中にいる人物ですね。一体誰なんですか？八つ咲き校の正体は。と少女はみんなが気にしている問いかけを口にした。
And that meeting must have involved a member of our group. Just who is this courting Duke, I wonder? Asked the girl, speaking for everyone.
ご託はもう結構ですわ。早く正体を教えなさい。
Enough idle prattle. Tell us the Duke's identity this instant.
わかりました。皆さんの目の前で 今から八つ崎校の正体をあぶり出します。
Oh shit. Alright, allow me to remove the Quartering Duke's mask, right before your very eyes. I take out the knife I brought from the manor and give my palm a shallow cut. Alarmed by the action, everyone scrambles to intervene, but I stop them and continue my explanation.
落ち着いてください。これまで説明してきた通り、八つ崎校の正体は死を誘導する能力に長けた人物です。
Please, stay calm. As I've said, the Duke is exceptionally talented at guiding others to their deaths.
そしてその巧みな誘導は理想探偵が死ぬ時にも使われていました。
That very skill was on full display when he used it to get Ideal Detective killed.
理想探偵の死にもやはり八つ崎子が関わっていたのですのね。
So the Duke was behind Ideal Detective's demise after all?
八つ崎子は僕らの目の前で堂々と、しかし誰にも気づかれることなく SPX を誘導してみせました。
That's right. The Quartering Duke brazenly operated the SPX right in front of all of us, and not a single person noticed.
どのように誘導したのですかと少女は興奮を抑えつつ尋ねた。
How was he able to control it? The girl asked, keeping a lid on her excitement.
誘導した方法は血です。
He controlled it using blood.
血？そういえば外道探偵も血の匂いで赤い SPX を誘導していましたわよね。
Blood? Kind of think of it, Renegade used the scent of his blood to lure the red SPX, did he not?
血で SPX が引き寄せられるならあなたのその出血はまずいじゃありませんの？
Oh, wait.
止血を
Oh, wait. If that's what the SPX is drawn to, won't your injury place us in peril? Stem the bleeding. Someone, anyone.
僕の血は大丈夫です。いや、正確に言えば、とある人物の血液以外は平気なんです。
My blood is fine, actually. All of ours is, aside from a certain someone's.
どういうことですかと少女は理解が追いつかずに首をかしげた。
What are you getting at? Said the girl, cocking her head in utter confusion.
緊急停止用のヒントを出題しない SPX が警備用だっていうのは赤い SPX でよく分かったよね。
The red SPX proved that models without any clues on how to disarm them are put to use as sentries, right?
黒い SPX はおそらくもっと明確な目的で作られたものなんだ。
This black one was likely created with a more specific purpose in mind.
明確な目的？それは一体？
A specific purpose, you say? And just what would that be?
説明は後です。皆さん、ナイフを手渡しますから、軽く出血する程度に手を傷つけてみてください。
I can explain that later. Right now, I'm going to pass the knife around. Everyone make a cut just deep enough to shed blood.
大丈夫。僕の予想では、黒い SPX は動き出しません。
Don't worry, my projections tell me that SPX won't move an inch.
それに、何か起きた場合はヘリポートを起動させて、地下へ降ろせばいいんですよ。
And if something does happen, we can use the helipad to escape underground.
僕を信じてください。
Please, trust me. A heavy silence hangs in the air, but then...
仕方ありませんわね。私がリーダーとして先陣を切って差し上げますわ。
Nothing for it. As your chief, I shall carve our path ahead. Posh snatches the knife from me and cuts her palm open. Blood wells in the center of her hand, but the SPX shows no sign of stirring.
家族さん、
Posh.
あなたの推理にはこれまでたくさん助けられてきましたものね。
Your theories have saved us countless times by now.
ただし、これで犯人がわからなかったら、乙女の柔肌を傷つけた罪を償ってもらいますからね。
But
そ
should
の
this...
つもりでいらっしゃい。
But should this not pan out, you'll be charged with marring the pristine skin of a young maiden. Understood? Be prepared for that.
乙女という年齢でもないでしょう。と少女は熟女探偵からナイフを奪い取りつつ
Oh no. You're not really of the age to be considered a young maiden anymore, the girl said before grabbing the knife from MILF Detective.
文学さん、あなた私に対して当たりが強すぎますわよ。
Bookworm, you're being entirely too disrespectful toward me.
あと私21歳ですから、まだまだピッチピチのヤングウーマンですわ。
What's more, I'm only 21, a young woman in the prime of her youth.
ピッチピチとか 表現がおばさんすぎて草生えますと12歳の柔肌に触れながら少女は笑顔で一周した
The prime of her youth? Only an old crone would say that, the girl retorted, literally laughing out loud as she admired her soft, pre-adolescent skin. As she banters casually, Bookworm glides the blade across her palm, drawing a thin line of blood.
ありがとうございます。ここでごめんなさい。
Thanks, you two. Sorry it came to this.
次は私の番ね。もし深く切っちゃいそうで怖い。
Oh man, the amount of people left to cut themselves is dwindling. I'll go next, but if anyone's afraid of cutting too deeply, just ask me to do it for you. One after another, the remaining detectives cut themselves to prove their innocence. As I watch, I expound my train of thought.
黒い SPX も赤い SPX と同様に警備用だとしたら追跡する対象がいるはずだよね。
If the black SPX is for use as a sentry, the way the red one was, it should have a target that's supposed to track, right?
そして社畜さんの警戒ぶりからもわかる通り、機密警察がここまで警戒するのは地下迷宮から脱走した不滅探偵だけだ。
Judging by Workaholic's attitude, there's only one person the SP would be so vigilant of. Invincible Detective, the subject who fled the maze.
社畜さんは不滅探偵の正体が下道探偵だと思っていたけれど、本当は違う。
Workaholic had believed that Invincible Detective's true identity was Renegade, but he was actually mistaken.
下道探偵は複数人の仲間と共に島から脱出したと言っていた。その中に本物の不滅探偵、未来の八つ咲き子は紛れていたんだ。
Renegade told us he escaped morgue alongside a number of children. Among them was the true Invincible Detective, the future Quartering Duke.
そんな不滅探偵を警戒する組織が開発する SPX があるとすれば、それは科学君のフレンズクンクン君にも使われていた同じ血液の追跡機能。
Given this organization developed the SPXs out of fear of Invincible Detective, they'd use the same blood tracking functions as Sniffy Whiffy.
顔や名前はいくら変えられても血液だけは変えられない。不滅探偵の血の匂いを追跡する SPX を開発することでいつ復讐されそうになっても平気にしたんだ。
You could change your face and name, but not your DNA. By tracking the scent of their nemesis' blood, they could rest easy if Invincible came for revenge.
これは推測だけど、黒い SPX がこのヘリポートのそばに設置されていたのはいつ不滅探偵が侵入してきても対応するためだったんじゃないかな。
This is just a hypothesis, but it could be that the black SPX was stationed at the heliport to intercept Invincible Detective upon their arrival on morgue.
でもいつ侵入してきた不滅探偵はこの黒い SPX の特性を完全に理解していた。
Either way, Invincible Detective was already aware of this SPX's unique detection method prior to infiltrating the island.
そして皮肉なことに不滅探偵を襲わないばかりか血の匂いで操られて理想探偵を襲うことになってしまったんだ。
And in an ironic twist, didn't simply target Invincible Detective, but was manipulated by the scent of their blood to attack Ideal instead.
忘れないよ。君は確かに隠し通路で出血していた。
Oh man, I mean this looks like it's gearing up to be Doleful then, because Doleful was in the secret passage, was bleeding, was putting themselves out forward. You know, the fucking like just being like, oh, I haven't forgotten. I know for a fact that you were bleeding in the hidden passage.
仲間のために体を張っているように見せかけながら、
Yeah.
君は自然な流れで出血してみせ、その時に備えていたんだ。
You pretended you were putting yourself on the line for your allies, which resulted in a premeditated accident. Also, I mean, if we're just talking about the people that willingly like cut themselves, we haven't. The two we didn't see do it because we saw Posh, Bookworm, obviously Gourmet, but then Techie and Doleful were conveniently skipped there. And obviously, I mean,
どうしたの？手が震えてるよ。怪我には慣れているはずだよね。
is this really? What's wrong? Your hands are shaking. Shouldn't you be used to pain already?
逆探偵。いや、不滅探偵。あの時のように出血してみせてくれよ。
Doleful Detective, or should I say Invincible Detective? Bleed for us again, just like you did back then.
そうすれば、君の無実は証明される。心からお詫びもするし、 何度頭を地についたって構わない。
If you do, it'll prove your innocence, and I'll apologize from the bottom of my heart. I'll grovel as many times as it takes.
だから頼むよ、飛躍君。僕に謝らせてくれ。
So please, Doleful, make me owe you that apology.
僕の推理は的外れだって。笑ってよ。
Laugh at me. Tell me I'm wrong. Incompetent. Doleful's expression twists as he holds the knife in one hand. But no matter how much I call to him, he refuses to reply. His silence is far more telling than words could ever be. He really is the quartering duke. Is this really? This seems too simple. And that was weirdly compressed sounding. Invincible Detective is Doleful Detective? Everyone exclaims at once. The whole group's gaze shifts to Doleful, whose entire body's trembling as he still clutches the knife, his legs glued in place.
洋館の扉にもよく見ると血がついていたよ。
If you examine it closely, you'll find blood on the manor door too.
科学君の力を借りて血液を確認してみたら君のものと一致した。
Techie helped me analyze it. It was a perfect match with yours, Doleful.
黒い SPX が洋館から離れないよう扉にべっとりと血をつけておいたんだね。
You
全然気づかなかったよ。
You smeared your own blood on the door so that the black SPX wouldn't leave the premises. I hadn't noticed it all until now.
違うよ、布君。
You've got it all wrong, incompetent. Doleful finally breaks the silence with a plea of denial.
僕たちはこれまで一緒にたくさん危険な試練を乗り越えてきたよね。
Think of all the dangers we've been through so far, all the trials we overcame together.
それなのに本気で僕を疑うの？僕だっていつも命がけだったよ。いつも死を覚悟してた。
You really suspect me after all that? I've always been putting my life on the line. I've always been ready to die.
それなのに疑うなんてひどいよ。僕は不滅探偵なんかじゃない。信じてよ、ムノー君。
And you still suspect me? How could you? Believe me, incompetent. I'm not invincible detective or anything else.
そうだね。飛躍君はいつだって危険な状況で最前線に立ってくれた。
Those are fair points. You've always been on the front lines whenever things got precarious.
たくさんの脅威を一身に引き受けてしまう体質なのにすごいって心から思ってたよ。
You endured it all, even when it meant pulling all the danger your way. I really admired you.
でもそれって見方を変えると今までどんな脅威からも生き延びてきたってことだよね。
But if we look at it from another angle, you've survived every single threat, right?
社畜さんの語っていた不滅探偵の特徴の通りだ。そしてもし君がどんな状況でも生還できる自信を持っているとしたら
That's Invincible Detective's exact ability, the one workaholic explained. If you were confident, you would live through anything.
君が最前線に立てるのも当たり前だ。自分が死なないことを確信しているのだから。
Then it's only natural that you'd put yourself on the front lines, because you knew you couldn't possibly die. Eek, stay away from me. I start to advance as I speak, but Doleful shrieks, turning the knife toward me. His legs are quivering and his face is fraught with terror. There's no way this is just an act.
いつから疑ってたの？僕はずっと信じてもらえてるって思ってたのに。
How long have you suspected me? Here I thought we trusted each other this entire time.
ずっと信じてたよ。今だって信じたいって思ってる。
I've always trusted you, and I still want to, even now.
でも洋館の扉に血がついているのに気づいて初日の君の出血の意味を考え始めたら全てのピースがはまってしまったんだ。
But when I noticed the blood on the front door, I recalled why you'd been bleeding in the first place, and then it all clicked.
ねえ飛躍君、本当のことを教えてよ。君は本当に八つ咲公なの？
Please, Doleful, just be honest with me. Are you really the quartering duke? We're just asking a question, Doleful. Eek. Don't come any closer. You're awful, incompetent. Unbelievably awful. While screaming to keep me at bay, Dolfo hunches down, cowering where he stands. The sight makes me want to cry. But I push through the overwhelming guilt and attempt to speak with him once more.
離れて無能ちゃん。その子はさっきから泣いてなんていないわ。
Get back, incompetent. He hasn't shed a single tear this whole performance.
もう演技はいいんじゃない？飛脚ちゃん。私はね、人が嘘をつく時の匂いがわかるの。
Are you done with the theatrics, Dolfo? I can smell when someone's lying through their teeth, you know.
これまではうまく隠してきたみたいだけど、今のあなた、とっても匂うわ。
You've hidden it so well this whole time, but right now it's overwhelming.
愉快で愉快でたまらない。優越の匂いがね。
That delectably delicious, delightful scent I can't resist.
愉快だなんて、そんな。
Eek. Delectable?
飛脚
Dolfo? A noise, almost like the hiss of leaking air, mixes with Dolfo's wailing. The strange sound grows steadily louder. Oh god, he's evolving or something. Oh, is he going to change appearance? He's going to become maniacal looking. He's going to laugh. He's shrieking into laughing. And then... oh god. He shifts into a chillingly familiar laugh. Ah!
そりゃ愉快に決まってるでしょ。
Of course, it's delectable.
こんな最低な僕のことを心の底から信頼してくれているんだもん。最高に愉快で最強にエンターテインメントに決まっているさ。
I'm scum, yet you trusted me from the bottom of your hearts. Nothing could be more delicious, no doubt. This is the best entertainment ever.
飛脚
Dolfo? Unconsciously, I speak his name aloud. This person, possessed by maniacal laughter, is far removed from the Dolfo I've known. The others are stock still, similarly dumbstruck.
その返事は肯定と捉えてよろしいですわね。
I'll take that as affirmative. Posh opens her mouth again. Resolute, she faces Dolfo and addresses him once more.
あなたを信頼していた私たちがバカでしたわ。証拠は揃っています。探偵同盟の助けが到着次第、あなたを拘束しますわ。
What fools we were to place our faith in you. We have the evidence. As soon as backup from the DA arrives, you will be restrained at once.
証拠？証拠って何？
Evidence? What evidence?
は？ですから、先ほど無能さんが口にした一連の。
Why, everything Incompetent just told us.
僕の血が扉についていたから全ての黒幕？そんな論理は通らないよ。
So just because some of my blood's on the front door, I'm the mastermind? As if that theory holds any water.
確かに扉に血はついたかもね。あれだけ必死に逃げたんだもの。怪我の一つや二つして当然さ。
Of course, my blood got on the door. I was running in a panic, so a few injuries are only to be expected.
その血が扉についていたから犯人だっていうのはさすがに無理があるんじゃない？
Concluding that I'm the culprit on that alone is a bit of a stretch, don't you think? Time for us to
君だけ
enter
はナイフで手を出血さ
Phoenix
せないじゃ
Wright
ないか。
style court case. You're the only one who refused to cut their palm.
他のみんなは血を流してみせたんだ。もう君以外に八つ咲き校だと思われる人はいないんだよ。
The rest of us already have. At this point, no one else could even be the quartering duke.
血の匂いを元に追いかけてくるメカが近くにいるんだよ。そんなこと怖くてできない方が自然だよ。
Hey, that blood tracking mech is right next to us, okay? Of course I can't cut myself. I'm scared.
それとも僕に強制するの？そんな権利はないよね。僕には君の提案を跳ねのける権利がある。その権利を主張して犯人呼ばわりは侵害だ。
Are you gonna force me? On what authority? It's well within my rights to refuse. To call me a criminal for exercising that right would be pretty unprofessional. Posh and I are lost for words. By now, it's obvious that Doleful is invincible, Detective, but we still have no physical proof. In light of his rebuttal, we can't actually condemn him of anything.
理想ちゃん殺害を含むこの島での一連の事件については確かに何も言えないわね。
True, we can't connect you to any of the crimes that took place on this island, including Ideal's murder.
でもこれまでの八崎港事件についてはどうかしら。あなたがいくら反論しようとも私たちはあなたを八崎港と考えて捜査するわ。
But what about all the previous Courting Duke cases? No matter how much you protest, we'll still take into account your actions as a perpetrator.
100人以上が死んだ事件ですもの。必ずあなたにつながる証拠は見つけられる。いつまで笑っていられるか見ものね。
Over 100 lives have been lost. Something pointing to you is bound to turn up, so we'll just see how long you can keep laughing.
八崎港事件の真相を解き明かすっていいよ、やってごらんよ。
You're gonna reveal the truth of the Courting Duke? Alright, feel free to try.
君たちの熱意に免じて仮に八崎港を演じてあげたっていい。まあ僕はこの事件の真相は誰にも知られない方がいいと思うけどね。
I'd be happy to defer to your zeal and play along as a Courting Duke, but personally, I feel it would be better if the public never learns the facts.
君たちはまだ気づいてないのかな。もし八崎港事件の真相が明るみになればどうなるの。
Maybe you guys just haven't noticed yet. What'll happen if you reveal the truth of the Courting Duke incident, I mean?
八崎港事件の真相
The truth of the Courting Duke incident?
まさか
It can't be. Gourmet takes a step back, seemingly struck by a revelation.
最低の殺人鬼少女は苦虫を噛みつぶしたような顔で言った。
You're the foulest homicidal maniac to ever walk this earth, the girl said with a rancorous expression.
音楽さんも分かったんだ。八崎港事件の真相って一体
You figured it out too, Bookworm? What's this truth he's talking about?
無能探偵ならきっとわかるはずです。最初と最後の事件を振り返ってくださいと少女が説明する。
I'm sure you can figure it out for yourself. Recall the details of the first and last cases, the girl explained.
最初と最後の事件
That the people killed each other. The first and last cases. The first, the case of the dismembered detective, utilized mechanisms built into the chandelier to kill remotely. In reality, it had been a self-orchestrated suicide, one that Senior staged in collusion with Downtown. The actual plan had been for the both of them to die simultaneously, each killing the other. The last, the case of the Paradox murders, was an odd one. 2 deaths occurred in quick succession thanks to Workaholic's efforts. When Renegade reset the breakers, Workaholic was electrocuted by his own trap, triggering the countdown for Renegade's car to explode. Though Renegade had resisted, he ultimately died by someone else's hand, not Workaholic's. This case, too, was originally meant to have 2 individuals responsible for one another's deaths.
探偵八崎殺人事件と矛盾回想殺人事件の共通点。それは本来2人の死者が被害者であり加害者となっていたこと。
What the dismembered detective and the Paradox murders have in common is they were meant to have 2 dead, each of them a victim and a killer.
この2つの事件が八崎港によるものだとしたらこれまで起きてきた事件の真相はどうなるかしら。
If the Duke was behind both incidents, what does that mean for all the other cases tied to the Duke so far?
これまでの八崎港事件死者は必ず2人だった。
In the other Courting Duke cases, there were always 2 people who died.
もしこの島での事件と真相が同じだとしたら
So if the same holds true for the killings here on Morgue, that would mean 2 people dead, each a victim and a perpetrator, with a notable lack of evidence tying them to the Courting Duke. My heart jumps. Could it be? No, there's no way. The thought alone sends a chill down my spine.
ビドックが捜査を止めた理由を理解できていなかったみたいだね。
Seems you still don't understand why Videoc launched this investigation to begin with. Doleful laughs, apparently sensing my unease.
君はさっきから僕を人殺しとして扱うけど、もし万が一八崎港事件に犯人なんていないとしたら
You've been treating me like some sort of murderer. But what if the courting Duke cases don't even have a culprit?
もし2人の死者が互いに互いを殺し合っているだけだとしたらどうなるかな。
What if the two victims had always just killed each other? What then?
どうもしませんわよ。あなたの罪を糾弾するだけですわ。
I don't give a whit either way. My only concern is denouncing you and your crimes.
簡単な話じゃないんですよ。
It may not be so simple, Posh.
はいどういうことですの。結局八つ咲公が悪いのですから真相を公開すれば良いじゃありませんの。
Pardon? Whatever do you mean? The Duke is ultimately to blame. Should we not disclose this truth to the public?
八つ咲公の罪を問えるかどうかが問題なのです。と少女が怒りのにじむ声で言った。
The issue lies in whether we can convict the courting Duke for any of it, the girl said, her voice swelling with fear.
文学さんの言う通りです。漁師さんも下根さんも、そして社畜さんも、きっと八つ咲公の指示で自分たちが死ぬトリックを用意したんだと思う。
Exactly. Oh, we might be restored. Exactly. Senior, downtown, and Workaholic all create elaborate schemes to die in accordance with the courting Duke's instructions.
その証拠さえつかめれば、自殺教唆の罪を立証できる。
If we could find some evidence supporting
証
this,
拠をつかめない限り、
we could charge him for instigating suicide, but as long as we don't have proof.
八つ咲公の罪を問うことはできない。そうだよね。
You can't accuse the Duke of anything, am I right?
それに問題はそれだけじゃないよ。これまで八つ咲公の被害者だと思われていた人たちがみんなただの被害者ではなくて殺人を犯した加害者になる。
And that's not your only problem. All those people you consider to be victims of the Duke, turns out they're perpetrators too.
これは大変だ。なんたって八つ咲公の罪を問おうとこれまで必死に捜査してきたのに八つ咲公は手を下していなかったんだから。
Seriously, what a pickle. You put in so much legwork to pin down the courting Duke, only to learn you didn't kill even a single one of them.
君たち探偵同盟の推理によって100人もの悲劇の被害者が100人もの異常な加害者に転じる。
Thanks to you fine folks from the DA, over 100 tragic victims would be transformed into a pack of deranged killers.
君が大好きな悲劇を覆すってやつだね。果たしてこれは正義だと言えるのかな。
As you're so fond of saying, you'll reverse those tragedies, won't you? But ultimately, can you really call any of that justice?
そんな真相を解き明かしたところで誰も幸せになんてならない。誰も知りたくないって思わない？
Exposing the truth won't make anyone happy. Nobody wants to learn about a reality like this, don't you think?
それでも僕たちは探偵だ。真相を闇に葬るなんてできるわけないじゃないか。
Even still, we're detectives. There's no way we could obscure the truth like that.
かっこいい言葉だね。しびれるよ。
My, such impressive words. How titillating.
そんな正義を振るうなら覚悟はあるんだよね。
If your goal is to enact that level of justice, I just hope you're prepared.
大切な人が死んで嘆いていた遺族の方々にさらなる追い打ちをかけることも。
Prepared to deal those already mourning the loss of their loved ones another blow while they're down, that is.
かわいそうな悲劇の被害者が理解できない異常な事件の加害者となって名誉が失われることも。
If those poor, hapless victims become the perpetrators of such mind-blowingly horrific crimes, their dignity would be stripped away.
自分が真相を解明することで何百人いや何千人もの人から恨みを買うことも。
By revealing the truth, you'll invite the ire of hundreds, no, thousands of individuals. You sure you're prepared for that?
僕
I swore I'd become an ideal detective, someone capable of saving others. I swore I wouldn't hesitate anymore, but now my heart is swimming in doubt.
この事件を解明することが誰かを救うことにつながるのか。
Will solving this case actually save anyone?
八つ咲公事件の真相を解明し世間に公表することは何よりも悲劇を生む行為なんじゃないのか。
Maybe revealing the truth of the courting Duke would result in the greatest tragedy of all.
僕はどうすればいいんだ。 教えて
This feels like a moment, the original ideal. Yeah, Saika. Come
か
in.
ちゃん
What should I do? Please, someone tell me. I need your help, Saika. No matter how hard I think, I can't arrive at an answer. I don't know what choice a detective like me should make.
やっと分かってくれたみたいだね。
Seems you finally get it.
僕は八つ咲き校じゃないから分からないけど、探偵がこの話を聞いたらみんな同じ顔すると思うな。
Heh. I'm not the courting duke, so I couldn't say for sure, but I bet every detective would make the same face after hearing this.
お友達の仇を取ろうと必死だった渋谷さんだって、自分の行動がお友達の名誉を傷つけると知ったら、八つ咲き校に寝返るのも仕方ないよね。
Downtown was committed to catching her friend's killer, but once she realized her actions would sully her friend's name, she had to side with the duke.
漁師さんや社畜さんは過去にたくさん罪を犯してきた人だ。過去の罪を暴かれるよりも他のみんなと同様、悲劇の被害者として死んだんじゃないかな。
Both Senior and Workaholic have a long history of misdeeds. Maybe they preferred being victims of tragedy like the rest without digging up the past.
特に社畜さんは家族も残っているから必死だったろうね。なんせ八つ咲き校の罪を暴けば自分の罪も世間にさらされる。
Workaholic would have been especially worried since he left behind a family. Reveal the Duke's crimes and you'll do the same to his.
その上、的外れの
He's
推理で
weaponizing.
下道探
He's
偵を疑
weaponizing
って
the truth.
仲間を殺したとなれば、下道探偵に罪をかぶせて自分も死ぬことで責任を取る以外に選択肢はなかったんだろうね。
What's more, he wrongly suspected Renegade and killed a fellow Alliance member. His only way of atoning was to blame Renegade and die himself.
まあ、全部僕の推測だけどさ。
Of course, this is all just my own speculation.
お前はどこまで残酷なんだ
You. How inhumane can you be?
残酷なのはどっちだよ。
Who's the inhuman one? Inhumane one, really.
命を奪い、奪われる場はそれぞれが悩み抜いてたどり着く境地だ。
Taking a life while having yours taken. That's just the place people's worries and anguish lead them to.
そこに第三者の探偵が我が物顔で踏み入って真相を解明するなんて馬鹿げてる。絶対に許されない。許しちゃいけない。
Then some meddling gumshoe barges in like he owes the place, hoping to reveal the truth. So idiotic. Won't be allowed to happen. In fact, it can't.
だからこそ八つ咲き校は探偵など不要の事件、探偵撲滅プロジェクトを生み出したのさ。
It's exactly why the Quartering Duke created these cases that don't need anyone to solve them. The Detective Elimination Project.
なんだよそれどうしてそんなプロジェクトが必要なんだよ
What the? Why is something like that even necessary?
君には八つ咲き校事件で死んだみんなの気持ちがわからないみたいだね。
Sounds like you don't understand the feelings of those who died in the Quartering Duke incidents. Doleful gives a disgusted sigh, then continues.
僕にはわかるよ。きっと辛くて苦しくて死にたくて、でも死ぬ勇気なんてなくて、明けない夜のような毎日を過ごしていたに違いない。
I get it, though. How it feels to suffer, to struggle in life, to want to die, but they lack the courage. For them, every day is a night without a dawn.
彼らの気持ちがわかるのは、僕みたいな死にたくても死にきれないやつだけさ。
The only one who could possibly understand them is someone like me. Someone who desperately wants to die, but can't.
死にたくても死にきれないってどういう意味だよ君はこれまで幸運に救われてきたんじゃないのか
What do you mean by that? You want to die, but can't? Haven't you been saved by good luck all this time?
論より証拠だ。いいものを見せてあげるよ、無能くん。
Proof's in the pudding, I guess. Let me show you something fun and competent. Dolfo abruptly turns the knife around in his hand and raises it high. Whoa.
何を
What are you? He plunges the blade down toward his chest. It's carefully angled parallel to his ribs. As it stands, it'll pierce his heart and kill him instantly. However...
危ないのである
Halt! Armor catches the arm holding the blade, leaving Dolfo unscathed. I know this is the Quartering Duke we're up against, but still, I'm relieved.
ほらね、また死ねなかった。 洋館の罠部屋で死にかけた時は無能くんが助けてくれたよね。僕が死のうとすると必ず誰かに邪魔されるんだ。
See? I just can't die. Remember how you saved me from the trap room in the manor incompetent? No matter what, someone interferes every time.
邪魔されるって、そんなの当たり前じゃないか。むしろ止めてくれた武装さんに感謝すべきだろ。
What? Of course someone would interfere. Honestly, you should be thanking Armor.
なんで感謝しなきゃいけないの？自分の命をどう扱おうが勝手でしょ。
And why is that exactly? Isn't it up to me what I choose to do with my life?
勝手に救ってるくせに恩を着せないでくれよ。
Yet you stepped in all because you felt like it. Don't act like I should be grateful.
飛躍殿。
Sir Doleful.
どうせもう計画は達成されたんだ。全部教えてあげるよ。
Either way, plan's been carried out, so I'll tell you everything.
僕の周りではね、昔から人が大勢死んでいった。その中にはママやパパも含まれていて、物心がつく頃にはこの島の地下の牢屋に入れられていたよ。
For years, people around me have died, even my mom and dad. Around the time I was old enough to understand, I was in prison here on Morgue.
そこで僕は自分の力を知った。それは無意識のうちに自分へ迫る脅威を察知して回避行動を取る力さ。
That's when I learned about my power, the ability I had to unconsciously sense danger and avoid it.
僕に降りかかる脅威は罠も裏切り者も SPX も全てを回避できた。 どんな
Traps,
実験からも生還する僕を指して職員たちは不滅探偵と呼んだよ。
traps, traitors, SPXs, I evade them all. The staff, having witnessed me survive every trial imaginable, dubbed me Invincible Detective.
もっとも僕は生き残りの中でも特に弱々しい外見だったから、僕が不滅の力を持っていることには最後まで気がつかなかったようだけどね。
But, of all the survivors, I was especially puny. Apparently, they didn't notice I had the power of invincibility until the very end.
社畜さんも知らなかったみたいでさ。研究棟の地下で真相を教えてあげた時の顔は最高に傑作だったよ。
Guess Workaholic never put two and two together. His face was so priceless when I told him told him in the underground research lab.
君が不滅探偵の正体って認めるんだね。じゃあ八つ崎校の正体も君ってことに。
So you admit it. You really are Invincible Detective, which means you're also the quartering dupe.
ならないよ。不滅探偵が八つ崎校の正体だなんてのは社畜さんの妄想じゃないか。
Does it though? Maybe Invincible Detective being the Duke was just Workaholic's delusion.
むしろ僕は被害者だよ。これまでずーっと過去に探偵同盟が犯した罪の証拠をつかもうとしてきた。だけど見つからなかった。
If anything, I'm a victim myself. I've spent this entire time trying to find proof of the DA's past offenses, but I could never get my hands on any.
洋館の設計士である老子探偵も改装後の隠し通路の開き方は未把握だ。その上エレベーターの鍵すら地下にある始末。
Even Senior,
通路の開き方をどうしても知りたかったよ。
even Senior, the manor's architect, was lost on how to open the hidden passage post-renovation. But as the elevator key was down there, I had to know.
だから偶然君たちが洋館に閉じ込められて隠し通路を見つけてくれて本当に助かったよ。なんたって僕が地下通路を見つけるのを手伝ってくれるんだもの。
So when you guys found it yourselves while you just so happened to be locked in the manor, that was a huge help. You really did me a favor there.
殺さなかった目的はそれか。初めから自分の目的に利用するつもりだったんだ。
So that's why you didn't kill us. You intended to use us as pawns all along.
地下通路の秘密さえ解ければあとはみんな死んじゃってもよかったんだけどね。
Once I discovered the secret of opening the passage, it wouldn't have mattered much if you all died.
僕と相性の悪い下道探偵が余計な殺人事件を起こすわ。赤い SPX を解放させるわで僕一人じゃさすがに手に余る状況だった。
But I didn't mix well with Renegade. Plus, he caused an unnecessary murder and set the red SPX loose. No way I could have handled him alone.
だから仲良く行動させてもらったよ。ありがとうみんな。大好きだよ。
That's why I played nice and worked alongside everyone. So thanks. Love you guys.
あなたのせいでどれほどの人が死んだと思っていますの？この鬼畜、恥を知りなさい。
Does all the death you caused mean nothing to you? You brute, you ought to be ashamed.
恥を知る？どうして？
Ashamed? Why?
脳死探偵も渋谷探偵も社畜探偵も、それに死んでいったみんなも自ら望んで死を選んだんだよね。
You should know by now that Senior, Downtown Workaholic, and all the rest of them willingly chose to die.
それのどこが悪いことなの？君は何を許せないの？
So what's the issue? What about that can't you allow?
はあ？私が許す許さないじゃありませんわよ。社会的に許されないと言っているのです。
Pardon? It's not my own sense of justice, but society as a whole that won't abide it.
社会的に？それ何？自分自身以上に優先される存在なの？
Society? Define that for me. Is it something to prioritize above one's own self?
家族探偵、君の言葉は道端の選挙ポスターよりも響かない。だって君は本気で死にたいと思ったことがないんだから。
You're spewing words more insipid than a roadside campaign flyer, Posh. Just goes to show you've never truly wanted to die.
本気で死にたいと考えている人にとってね、生き続けること、それ自体が悲劇なのさ。早く解放されたい、楽になりたい、ずっと考え続けているものなんだよ。
For those who do, living on is the real tragedy. They long for a swift release, for peace. They're always thinking about it.
君はずっと死にたかったのか？
So you've always wanted to die?
ああ、いつだって死を望んで生きてきた。
Yup, I've spent my whole life wishing that death would take me.
僕の周りではね、いつも事故が起きたんだ。そのせいで家族が死に、友達が死に、養父が死に、関わる人が次々と死に、僕だけが生き残った。
Accidents are a constant with me. My family, friends, foster father, anyone I interacted with. They all died one after another. Only I survived.
だけど苦しむくらいなら、いっそ死にたいってずっと思ってた。なのにいつも僕は生きながらえてしまう。
If I'm cursed to suffer this much, I'd rather be dead. But every single time, I always survive.
そんな僕に生きろっていうのか？周囲を殺し続けながら笑って過ごせっていうのか？幸せを感じていけっていうのか？
And you're telling me I've got no say in it? That I should smile and carry on even as I rain death around me? That I should just be happy?
だからって死んで何になると言いますの？人は生まれ持ったカードで戦うしかありませんわ。
That's precisely my point. What good will dying do you? People must press on with the cards they've been dealt.
私だって落ちぶれた実家を嘆きましたが、今こうして必死に抗っていますわ。人は成長できるのですわ。
Take myself, for instance. I lamented the fall of my house, but I still resist, fighting with tooth and nail. People can change and grow.
うん、能力なら伸びるね。でも絶対に変えられないものがある。
Sure, abilities can be honed, but some things just can't be changed.
それは生まれ持った天運だよ。家族さんには才能もその才能を生かす環境もあった。でも僕は真逆。
For example, the fate you're born into. Posh, you possess talent and the means to nurture it, but I'm the total opposite.
実際この島での事件でみんな成長できているけど、運だけは変えられないじゃないか。
Truthfully, you've all grown during the events of this island, but luck is one thing you can't ever change.
僕は生き続けている限り周囲を不幸にし続ける。生まれついての存在悪さ。
As long as I keep living, misfortune will befall those in my presence. That's been the plague of my existence ever since I came into being.
そんな僕でも生きている価値がある。君たちは言い切れるのか？
Can you truly say there's value in living, even for someone as miserable as me?
それでも努力すれば。
But if you work hard enough...
報われるまで頑張れっていうのに、頑張っても報われない日々を何度繰り返しても 心を折るなっていうの。
So you're saying to work hard until things pan out. Spend enough days trying and trying with nothing to show for it and you'll eventually break down?
死を選ぶような人こそ努力を続けてきた。生きることに絶望するほど頑張りすぎた人たちなんだ。
Those who work tirelessly and struggle endlessly, they're the ones who opt for death. They try too hard for too long until they give in to despair.
努力では絶対に変えられないものもあるんだよ。自分が恵まれていることにも気づけない幸せ者は黙ってろよ。
There are some things blood, sweat, and tears will never change. If you can't even realize how entitled you are, then shut the hell up.
生まれながらの自分の境遇を恨む気持ちはわかります。僕もこの足ですから。
I understand how it feels to hate the circumstances you were born with. My legs being the way they are.
でも恵まれない境遇だからこそなせることもあるんじゃないですか。飛躍さんだって探偵として成功してきたじゃないですか。
But aren't there things that can be achieved thanks to those unique challenges? You've been a successful detective, haven't you?
そうだね。探偵として生きている間は楽しかったよ。本当に楽しかった。
True enough, living life as an investigator was fun. It really was.
実際このまま探偵として生きるのも悪くないと思った時期もあったよ。この仕事なら自分のおかしな体質も生かすことができるってね。
There was actually a point where I thought I'd like to stay one, seeing as this line of work can accommodate the use of my strange abilities.
でも探偵として悲劇に触れていくに従って気づいてしまったんだ。悲劇のもとに生まれてくる人や悲劇に耐えきれない人もいるんだってね。
But as I encountered tragedies as a detective, I realized something. There are those who are born into tragedy and those who can't bear it.
ねえ、悲劇に耐えきれないこともそんなにいけないことかな。死ぬという選択肢は人生においてあってはいけないの。
Is not being able to handle it really so wrong? Is dying not an acceptable option for someone to have?
ダメですよ。家族は悲しみますよ。
Of course not. Their families would be devastated, wouldn't they?
そっか。じゃあ家族がいない人は死んでいいんだね。
Huh, I see. So people without families are free to die then.
それは
What? No, that's not.
あらゆる不遇を経験した僕だからわかるけどね。家族に愛されない人も家族を愛せない人もいる。
I've experienced every hardship under the sun, so I know. There are plenty of people who aren't loved by their families or who don't love them back.
僕を愛した最初の家族は交通事故に巻き込まれて目の前でぐちゃぐちゃの合いびき肉になる。
My first family loved me, only to end up killed in a car accident. I saw them ground into meat right before my very eyes.
2
Jesus.
番目の家族は憔悴しき
Turned
った
into a
僕を
burger.
励ますために必死に愛してくれた結果、瓦礫の山に潰されてぺしゃんこだ。
I was wasting away, so my second family tried desperately to cheer me up. As a reward for their love, they were flattened by a mountain of rubble.
3番目の家族は僕に恐怖し、僕を疫病神扱いして殺そうとしたけれど、今では家族揃って病院のベッドで一生寝たきりさ。
My third family feared me. They tried to kill me, calling me an angel of death. But now they're together forever, bedridden in a hospital.
家族のつながりなんてものは霧より希薄なものなんだよ。
The bonds of family are as tenuous as mist.
家族以外にもきっと自分を大切に思う人はいるはずだ。死ぬなど言語道断なのである。
There must be those outside your kin who value you. To yearn for death is the height of folly.
我には生き別れとなった妹がいた。今では家族と呼ぶこともかなわぬが、それでも愛し続けている。世界には自分が気づかないだけで愛してくれている者がきっといるのだ。
I have a long lost sister whom I can no longer call family, yet my love for her prevails. Whether or not you're aware, someone surely feels the same of you.
そんな人が一人もいないとしたら、
And what if I don't have a single person in the world who does?
今はいなくともいずれ現
This
れ
is
る。
just everyone trying to convince Doleful. No, life is worth living. You silly fuck. Cheer up. Don't be depressed. If not today, then in time you shall. Believing as much is the only way.
どうしてそう言い切れるの？僕は自分が誰かに愛されるだなんて自信どうあがいたって持てそうにないよ。
How can you say that with so much certainty? I could never be so confident someone would care for me, no matter how hard I tried.
武装さんはとっても自信家なんだね。すごいなあ。
It's amazing how much faith you have in yourself, farmer.
違うのだ。そういうことではなくて。
Nay, that is not what I...
どういうことなの？君は世界中のみんなが誰か一人には愛されているんだって、いずれは愛されるはずだって、とっても平和的な主張をしたいんだろう。
What do you mean then? You want to make the peaceable claim that everyone on this planet is destined to be cherished by someone someday?
そばにいるだけで誰からも疎まれる僕にはとてもじゃないけど考えつかない発想だよ。いいなあ、君は愛されるような人間で本当に幸せだな。
But for a wretch like me, shunned by all just for being around, the idea is unfathomable. Just be nice. Lovable people like you have it so good.
人は人と関わらずには生きていけない生き物よ。
Gourmet's turn.
生きている限り誰かと必ず関わるし、自分の死は必ず誰かに影響を与える。
Humans are social creatures. We need to be for our survival. As long as you exist, your death will inevitably impact someone you've interacted with.
だから生きなきゃいけないの。自分と関わる誰かのためにも生きなきゃダメなのよ。
That's why you've got to live. Live for all those people with whom you've made a connection.
出たね。そう、その価値観こそが人から死ぬという選択肢を奪い去っていく。
There it is. That's the exact way of thinking that strips people of the rightful choice to die.
何が言いたいのかしら。自分のことしか見えていないと視野が狭まって人生がとても空虚なものになってしまうでしょ。
What are you getting at? If all you're seeing is yourself, you'll limit your perspective and your life will become that much more empty.
自分も
So true. So true, Gourmet.
気づくことができれば視界が開けてもっと明るい道を進んでいけるはずだわ。
By accepting yourself as a part of this world, you can expand your point of view and walk down a brighter path.
出たね出たね。明るい道を歩ける人ならではの能天気な考えだ。
There you go again. That carefree attitude is so typical of those privileged enough to take that road.
視界が開ける。自分は世界の一部。何それ。そんな全体主義的な考え方に多くの人が悩まされていることに気づきなよ。
I'm part of this world? Expand my point of view? What does that even mean? Wake up and realize how many people this totalitarian mindset hurts. I was just slurred right through that.
全体主義。
Totalitarian.
無能君は知って
Gave
い
me
るか
another
な。
chance of saying it correctly.
この国ではね、自殺しようか思い悩む人の7割が誰にも相談しないそうだよ。
Say, Compton, did you know? Apparently 70% of those with suicidal thoughts in this country never mention it to anyone.
つまり自殺寸前まで追い詰められてもなお誰かの負担になることを躊躇してしまうんだ。
They're driven to
そ
the
んな
brink.
人たちはきっと最後の最後まで相談できずに死んでいく。
They're driven to the brink of ending it all, but unable to express themselves out of fear of being a burden, so they die without telling a soul.
おかしいよね。誰だって一番大切なのは自分自身のはずだよ。それなのにどうして自分より誰かの都合を優先するの？
Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't you be your own highest priority? And yet these people would rather prioritize the convenience of others. Why?
ねえ美食探偵、君が今自分の喉をかっ切ろうとしているのもその矛盾の一つなんだよ。
Well, Gourmet Detective, isn't the fact that you're trying to slit your throat right now another one of those baffling contradictions? Gourmet freezes, knife in hand. The blade is pointed at her neck. Oh,
美食さん、あなたまさか。
Gourmet, are you seriously?
ええ、決めたわ。この子は世界にとって有害すぎる。
Yes, I've made up my mind. He's too much of a menace to this world.
巻き込まれたくない子は離れていなさい。私が死ぬことでこの子の首輪を起爆させるわ。
Anyone who doesn't want to get caught in this, stand back. My death will detonate his collar. Her eyes tell me she's serious. She really intends to kill Doleful here and now. Normally, I would have stopped her immediately, but right now I can't find the courage. The Quartering Duke's existence is an even greater atrocity than I realized. I'm keenly aware of this societal rot he's caused.
殺すなんていけないと思う。もうこの状況じゃ。
I don't think killing's acceptable, but in this case... At that moment, my vision flickers. The next thing I see is Gourmet collapsed and covered in blood, and there stands Doleful without so much as a scratch.
ダメだ、美食さん。あなたがここで死んでも無駄死にですよ。
It's pointless, Gourmet. Even if you die, it won't make a difference.
何を言っているの？
What are you saying?
さっき飛躍君が言っていた通りです。もしあなたが命がけで首輪を起爆させたとしても、彼は殺せない。
It's just like Doleful said earlier. Even if you sacrifice yourself to detonate the collar, you still won't be able to kill him.
おそらく首輪は不発します。その未来をシミュレートできました。
I'm guessing the collar will misfire. I was able to simulate that outcome.
不発ってそんなわけないじゃない。確かに古い予備かもしれないけど、あの子の首輪だけ不良品になるなんてどれほどの確率だと。
Misfire? That's impossible. Collar's maybe a little old, but what are the odds that he'd get the only defective one?
せっかく解放されそうだったのに残念だったね、美食さん。
Just when I thought I'd finally find my release. Such a shame, Gourmet.
布能くんの言う通りだよ。万が一美食さんが死んでもきっと僕の首輪は爆発せずに生き残る。あなたは無駄死にする。
But Incompetent is right. Even if you die, my collar won't explode. I'll survive and your death will be meaningless.
よーくわかっただろう。僕は死なない、死ねない、死なせてもらえない。それが僕なんだよ。
You get it now, right? I won't die. I can't. I'm not allowed to. This is who I am.
なら差し違えてでもこの手で殺してみせるわ。
Then I'll stab you myself, even if it costs me my life. Gourmet readies her knife. Her hand trembles ever so slightly.
震えているよ。決死の覚悟の行動が失敗したんだもん。そりゃ自信がなくなるよね。
You're shaking, you know. You weren't able to act on your You weren't able to act on your do or die resolve. That's a blow to your pride, I bet.
ねえ、どうしてそこまで必死なの？社会のために自分を犠牲にするって本当に意味があると思ってる？
Why are you so set on this anyway? Do you really think becoming some kind of martyr will mean a thing for society?
意味があるに決まっているわ。あなたを止めれば昔の私みたいな犠牲者を減らせる。そのために私は。
Of course it would. Stopping here means fewer casualties who have to endure what I have, or worse. That's why.
そのために自分が犠牲になるわけだ。
That's why you're gonna make a casualty of yourself?
今この世界は美食さんみたいな子ばっかりなんだよ。
The world is full of people like you, Gourmet.
人は社会性を持ちすぎた。最も大切なのは自分自身だというのに、いつだって誰かのためばかりだ。
Folks who care too much about society at large. The most important thing is yourself. But you're out here thinking of others who you can't even name.
こんな現代だからこそ八つ咲コウが必要なんだよ。
That's why this modern
事
world...
件での死者が100人以上にも及んだ理由が何なのか考えてみなよ。
That's why this modern world needs a Quartering Duke now more than ever. Consider why there have been over 100 victims.
八つ咲コウ事件の死者が増えた理由？
You mean why the death toll has climbed so high? I've been wondering how the Duke was able to find so many obedient pairs willing to kill each other. Then, as if sensing my confusion, Doleful shoots me a grin and continues his speech.
彼らはね、 自分から八つ崎公にコンタクトを取ったのさ。つまり死を望んでいた人たちばかりなんだよ。
The victims are the ones who contacted the Quartering Duke in the first place. All of them were people desperately wishing to die.
ありえない。
That can't be.
死にたいから八つ崎公にコンタクトを取るなんてめちゃくちゃじゃないか。そもそもどうやって証拠も残さずに連絡を取り合ったんだよ。
Contact the Duke just to die. That's absurd. How could they get in touch with him without leaving any traces?
難しい話じゃないよ。もし八つ崎公が探偵なら、探偵として各地に飛ぶたびに死にたい人たちとのつながりを作っていけばいい。
It's not that hard. If the Duke were a detective, you just have to build an affinity with these Death Seekers wherever he gets deployed.
渋谷さんのように従順な部下が何人もいれば、八つ崎公を中心とした不可視のネットワークが出来上がるさ。
And with a gal like downtown and all her followers online, it'd be simple to create an invisible network with the Duke at its center.
被害者たちを結ぶ中心点は八つ崎公だけど、被害者と顔すら合わせないとてもか細い線だ。いくら捜査したって見つけられなくて当然だよね。
He's the fine thread linking all the victims. He doesn't even need to meet them in person, so you wouldn't be able to ferret anything out.
どうして連絡を取っても死にから命を絶つような。
How could someone be so intent on dying that they'd reach out to him like that?
不思議なことかな。僕は当然の流れだと思っているよ。
Is it really so enigmatic? Seems pretty sensible to me.
さっきも言った通り、人は死を考えたとき、つい周囲への影響を考えてしまう。誰それに迷惑をかけるんじゃないか、残された家族に迷惑をかけるんじゃないかってね。
Like I said, when people want to die, they end up thinking about the impact. They worry about causing others trouble or leaving family behind.
人生は自分のためにあるっていうのに、世の中にはびこる全体主義的な考えに毒されて何も考えられなくなるんだ。
Our lives should be our own, yet their thoughts are poisoned by the rampant totalitarianism in this world, and they end up paralyzed.
でも八つ崎公事件の被害者として死んだ人たちはどうかな。八つ崎公ではなく死んだ人たちを責める人を見たことはあるかい。
But what about the victims of the Quartering Duke incidents? Has anyone ever blamed them as opposed to the Duke himself? Thinking back on it, I've seen comments from the Duke's followers praising him, but never anyone who derided the ones who died.
いないだろう。当然だよね。殺される理由などなく、悲劇的に残酷に殺された哀れな被害者に追い打ちをかけようとするやつなんて、誰かを批判することが生きがいの人々くらいさ。
Not a soul, right? Of course not. The only people who'd mock the poor, hapless target of an unjust murder are those who live to put others down.
わかっただろう。八つ崎公に殺されたことにすれば、誰にも責められず、哀れな犠牲者として周りから同情されることができるんだ。
Get it now? If they were killed by the Duke, no one would blame them. People all over would sympathize with their untimely end.
八つ崎公は死の免罪符なんだよ。八つ崎公事件の被害者の多さは、そのまま現代社会で死を望む人たちの多さを表している。
The Quartering Duke is a free pass to death. 100 victims attest the vast number of people yearning to escape modern society.
八つ崎公は殺しているんじゃない。生きることに苦しむ人たちを救っているんだ。
The Duke doesn't kill. He simply offers salvation to those who suffer in life. Everyone falls silent at a loss for words at the reality of this case. Dolfo's argument is a strong one. No one speaks up to counter him. We've gone through so much together, and now we understand just how much pain his ability has caused him. For some, life is such agony that death would be a salvation, and the Quartering Duke's a free pass to get there. In the face of this unspeakable truth, someone as ordinary as me couldn't possibly muster a reply.
ねえ、君はいつも悲劇を覆すとか言っていたよね。
Hey, incompetent. You're always going on about reversing tragedies and all that, yeah?
この悲劇も覆してみなよ。 どうあがいたところで100人以上もの悲劇を覆せるとは思わないけどね。
Why don't you try to turn this one around too? Though I doubt you'd be able to do that for over 100 people, no matter how hard you try. Doleful. No, the quartering Duke erupts into raucous laughter. I clench my fists and stand there uselessly, unable to do a thing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Maybe becoming a great detective really is beyond my capacity. This is... I realize I'm on a familiar street. It's a town that I call home. God, this background was from so long ago. I mean, playthrough-wise, like this, we started. When did we start Elimination? It wasn't like as far back as August, was it? I gotta check real quick because I know there was a big gap because of like October. Let me see. Beginning of September, basically. Ooh, yeah, because there was like at least a month, and there were other breaks too where I had to put a pause on this. I realize I'm on a familiar street. It's a town that I call home. I lived a normal life in this average, peaceful place. Back then, I didn't know the truth about what had happened 10 years ago. Even though it's only been a week, I can't help but feel a strong sense of nostalgia. Look how pathetic I look. Huh? I see a familiar boy pass by. It's me. But his complexion is sickly and his gait is unsteady. He looks like he could keel over at any second. Hey, you alright? Hmm? Oh? I can't stop myself from calling out. Even his voice is identical to mine, but he doesn't seem fazed as he responds to me. What's up? I'm gonna be late to cram school, so if it's not important, I'm gonna keep going. Huh? Oh, sorry. Your face looked a bit pale, so I was worried. You were worried? So what? The next moment, the face of my lookalike turns angry and he begins shouting, his tone grown coarse. Are you gonna help? You gonna study for me? Raise my grades even though they never go up, no matter what? Get me into my dream school? You're gonna piss, you're gonna shit, you're gonna cry? Everyone's always asking if I'm alright, but do they ever do anything about it? No, I'm not alright, but no one ever tries to help me. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, the only one who could save me now is the quartering Duke. So I'm over it. I'm not alright. I'm just done. Huh? Wait. The version of me consumed by his academics starts off somewhere. But then another me appears, again when I try to speak to him. We're losing it. You gonna take over my job for me? How would you even help? By giving me money, raising my family, ridding me of all my anxieties about the future? If you can't save me, then don't you dare tell me I have to live. I just want life to be easier. In the end, living won't ever make me happy. I stand there, berated by my own self.
しいよ。何をやっても面白くないのに、どう生きろっていうの。
It's nothing. Living just doesn't interest me.
人生楽しいな。
It's nothing. Living just doesn't interest me. Must be nice having stuff you enjoy. I'm jealous, but what about my dull existence? Why's your life so fun, huh? Another version of myself confronts me, exasperated.
綺麗事を言うなら助けてよ。親が作った借金をあんたが代わりに背負ってよ。どうして私なのねえ、どうして私だけこんな境遇なのよ。
If you're gonna sweep it all under the rug, then help me take on the debts my parents left me. Why me? Why does this only happen to me? Turtleneck wearing me. And another sobbing in frustration. As my awareness fades, my various selves continue to cry out at me, lamenting their lots in life. Alright, you know what? I side with the quartering Duke. Kill all this. Provide relief. Soon my vision and the entire expanse of my mind turns pure white. I remain still in an empty void, enveloped by a slight floating sensation.
そうか。ようやくわかったよ。
I see. I finally understand now.
八つ咲き校にすがる人たちはこういった人たちなんだね。今僕が見ているのは未来で八つ咲き校に頼って死んでいく人たちなんだ。
The people I'm seeing, they're the sort who would cling to a figure like the quartering Duke, the ones who will give up their lives to him in the future. There was certainly nothing remarkable about them, and in truth, this world is full of individuals like that. Sure enough, life isn't always fun and games. In fact, it's full of constant challenges. There's no guarantee I wouldn't have ended up as one of those versions of me, not if I hadn't been summoned to Morgue and reunited with Saika. If it's like Doleful says, and we truly inhabit a world where everyone might call upon the Duke, maybe we're in the wrong for trying to expose his crimes after all. Maybe detectives who reveal unpleasant realities aren't necessary. Maybe it's preferable to tell a palatable lie. Maybe dying is easier than living.
もう頑張らなくてもいいんじゃないかな。
Maybe I should just give up? I feel my resolve crumble as I second-guess my ability to continue following in Saika's footsteps. I've walked the path of a detective for so long, yet I've lost the road ahead of me. With my willpower gone, I feel wariness take over. Forget it. I should just leave things as they are. It'd be so easy. I notice something fall from my pocket.
これは
What's this? Picking it up, I realize it's a Hanafuda deck. As I examine the cards decorated in cherry blossoms, my vision flickers. What? What? That's the rowdy.
胸があっち。
God, what the? My chest.
姉さん、すまねえ。俺は
Sorry, sis. I... Rowdy? I think I hear Rowdy's devastated voice. A burning pain lingers within me, as if I've been pierced through the chest. This scene, it's... We're gonna see everyone's final moments.
脳みそが溶けているみたいできついね。
Huh? So this is how it feels to get poisoned. Feels like my brain's gonna melt. This sucks major ass.
文学ちゃん、他のみんな巻き込んじゃってごめん。
Mystic, Bookworm, and everyone else. Sorry I got you all caught up in this.
飛躍なんか負けないでよ。
Incompetent?
やっとわかったの。
Dude, you better not lose to Doleful. Not when you finally figured it out.
そういうのってわかるとさ、やりたいことがたくさん頭に浮かんでくるって。
you're dying, you like really think about all the stuff you wish you could have done.
渋谷さん
Downtown. Downtown. I'm struck by a sudden chill as my mind is dissolving. It hurts. I'm dizzy, nauseous. Unable to stay on my feet, I topple over. Tears stream freely from my eyes. But it isn't because I'm in pain, it's because I finally grasped the purpose of this vision. The denouement is showing me the past, the final memories of the detectives who perished here on Morgue.
罠を利用するとはなんたる非道だが俺は死なん
Using a trap. How inhumane. But I shall not fall so easily.
文を一人にするわけにはいかない生きなければならんのだ
I cannot leave Bookie all on her own. I must live.
君たちを置いて先へ行ってしまってすまない
Sorry to go on ahead without the rest of you.
やはり鬼は最後まで鬼のままだったがそれでも君たちへの愛は本物だ
I guess demons are demons right until the end. But either way, my love for you is real.
決して届きはしないだろうけれど私は意識の途切れる最後の一瞬まで君たちを思う
You probably won't ever know it, but here in my final moments, my thoughts are with you all.
だからパパのことなど忘れて幸せに生きてくれ
So,
愛しているよさようなら
so forget about your papa and live a happy life. You'll always be in my heart. Goodbye.
ねえ今ならまだギリ引き返せるけどマジでやるの
Hey, are we seriously gonna do this? There's still time to back out, you know?
原点1この状況に至って臆したのか渋谷探偵
-1 point. The moment is here at last, and you're hesitating, downtown detective?
私たちはすでに22名を殺した今さら自分の命を惜しむ許されるわけがないだろ
We've already taken 22 lives. Far be it from us to cling pathetically to our lives at this point.
じゃあなんで計画にない子を島に入れてんの
So why'd you bring some random kid to the island then?
八つ崎校には言わないであげるけどさ明らかに反逆っしょあ
I won't tattle on you to the Duke or anything, but it's like totally against the rules, right?
私にもわからんよこれまでずっと死にそびれたと思って生きてきた
Huh. I'm not sure myself. Until now, I've always lived with a feeling that I've missed my chance to die.
だが最後に未来ある若者と出会えたおかげで託してみたくなったのかもしれんな
Perhaps it's thanks to my encounter with that promising lad that I got the idea.
私のできなかった満点の生き方を
To entrust him with a fulfilling life that I was never able to lead myself.
なんだよこれ
What is all this? Memory after memory plays in my head. Everyone has differing thoughts as they die, but all of them think about living right until the bitter end. Not one of them was truly hoping for death.
サイガちゃん
Saiga!
最後にその名前で呼んでくれたか
It's been too long since I've heard you call me by that name.
この島に来た時から死を覚悟していた10年前君に運命を肩代わりしてもらったあの時に私は一度死んだんだ
I was prepared to die from the moment I arrived on Morgue. After all, in a way I already had when you took on my fate 10 years ago.
人間は強欲だな覚悟していたというのに今はの際となると未練が残る
Even so, people's hearts are insatiable. I swore I was prepared, but as I lie dying, my earthly attachments yet lingered.
きっと君のことだから私に代わって再び理想探偵の道を歩もうとするだろう
Watto, knowing you, I have little doubt that you'll once again endeavor to step in my shoes and continue onward as ideal detective.
最初で最後のわがままだ。
I'm afraid I've been entirely selfish from beginning to end.
君が理想探偵を名乗れるようになるまで君のそばにさせてくれないか。
So until you can accept the title of ideal detective as your own, won't you allow me to stay by your side? Shoop. The floating sensation that had consumed me soon disappears, and I finally feel my feet firmly planted on the ground. Amidst the blinding whiteness, familiar figures loom just ahead. Hello.
みんな
Everyone? The detectives who have since passed now appear before me. This can't be real. This must be a vision created by the denouement, or maybe they're all delusions born from my mind.
やっと本当の力を使いこなせるようになったか。
At last, you've grasped your true power.
エンドシーイングの本質は未来の死を予知することじゃない。この世界の全てを
We're
見る
gonna
力
we're gonna use the
説明したわ
denouement to summon a bunch of ghosts and apparitions to verbally beat down Doleful. I previously explained how the core essence of the denouement isn't predicting future deaths, but seeing all the world has to show, yes? And then, as if addressing my doubt, Saika materializes before me.
君は今私たちの残留思念を見ている。それぞれの探偵とのつながりが私ほど強くはないから意思疎通まではできないだろうがな。
Right now, you're witnessing their residual thoughts, but your connection to them was weaker, so I doubt you'll be able to interact.
彼らが何を食いているのか君にわかるかい？
Tell me, do you know what they all regret?
みんなの悔い
What they regret? I look again, but their faces have gone dark. What worldly repentance could they long for?
わからないよ。みんなは何を悔いているの？
I have no idea. What do they regret?
私にもわからない。
I have no idea either.
なんだよそれ。
What's that supposed to mean?
死者の悔いなど普通ならわかりようもないさ。八つ咲公が救ったと思い込んでいるようにな。
Normally, there's no way to know what regrets the dead may have. The courting duke has simply assumed he's brought them salvation.
だが君にはその見通す力がある。君ならばいずれ死者たちの思いを見通すことすらできるようになるだろう。
However, you have the ability to perceive much more. In time, you'll even be able to understand that which the departed think and feel.
それまでは必死に考えるといい。本当に彼らにとって死ぬという行為が正しいのかどうかをな。
Until that time comes, think long and hard. Consider if dying truly is the correct choice for them.
僕も最初は八つ咲公の言う通り救いになってると思ってた。
At first, I really felt the Duke had a point with his idea of salvation.
でも今エンドシーイングの力でいろんな人の死に触れて思ったんだ。
But after encountering so many different versions of death through the denouement,
やっぱり八つ咲公は間違ってる。楽になるために死ぬことは救いではないんだって。
I believe the courting Duke is actually mistaken. Dying won't make things easier, nor will it bring deliverance to anybody.
人は事実に合う論理的な説明を求めず、理論的な説明に合うよう、知らず知らず事実の方を曲げがちになる。
Heh, heh. Insensibly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts.
ホームズの言葉だね。
Wise words from Sherlock himself.
詭弁に振り回されるなよ、ワト君。八つ咲公事件で死んでいった者たちは、本当に自らの意志で求め、救済されたのか。
You mustn't let the sophistry fool you, Watto. Do you believe those who died by the Duke's hand truly wished for such salvation?
君の思いをぶつけてみろ。君と八つ咲公の一騎打ちだ。
Use your mind to challenge these ideas. This is a duel against the Duke himself.
ありがとう、サイカちゃん。
Thanks, Saika. They should all be dead, yet here they are, looking at me with happiness on their faces. I don't know what their smiles are supposed to mean. How am I supposed to understand what the dead are feeling? But whatever the case, I want to believe that they've placed their hopes in me.
安心してください。
Also, I love how Renegade's not here, because fuck him, I guess.
僕が話します。
Don't worry, I'll handle those regrets of yours. Seeing this here now is all I needed. When I think about how I'm taking on the hopes and dreams of those who've passed, I feel as if a ray of light is shining upon me. I feel as if I've realized the full truth behind the case of the Quartering Duke. My consciousness comes back to reality. I wipe the tears that have spilled from my eyes and face the Duke once more. I'm not going to hesitate anymore, even if the reality is a tragic one. There's only one thing a detective can do in a situation like this.
八崎子、やっぱりお前は間違ってる。
Quartering Duke, your methods are all wrong.
八崎子事件は救いなんかじゃない。立派な殺人事件だ。探偵の誇りにかけて、お前を必ず捕まえてみせる。
These incidents don't bring salvation. They're undeniable murders. I swear on my pride as a detective, I will bring you to justice.
ぼーっとしていたかと思ったら急におかしなことを言い出して寝ぼけているのかな。
Here I thought you had zoned out. Now you're babbling about all this nonsense. Someone hasn't gotten enough sleep.
捕まえる？まさか本気でこれまで死んできたみんなを加害者に仕立て上げる気？
Ehehe. You want to bring me to justice? Does that mean you're set on all painting these victims as perpetrators now?
いい身分だよね。さすがはそれなりに幸せな人生を送ってきただけあるよ。
You lucky duck, you. At least you got to live a relatively happy life beforehand.
覚悟ができているんだね。多くの人たちから恨まれる覚悟が。
So, you ready? To be hated and despised by untold masses?
覚悟ならできています。
Ready as I'll ever be. Bookworm steps in front of the Quartering Duke and begins to speak.
真実が幸せだとは限らないなんて当たり前です。
Oh, she's
私は
changing her speaking pattern.
お父さんが死んだ真相を知って
What a moment.
本当に胸を裂かれる思いをしました。
Obviously, the truth isn't always a happy one. When I learned how my father had died, I felt like my heart had been torn to shreds.
それでも今は真実を知ってよかったって思っています。真実を受け止めない限り私は前に進めなかったのですから。
But now I'm glad I know the facts, because as long as I refuse to come to terms with them, I would never be able to move forward.
文学さんは強いね。嫉妬しちゃうくらい強くてキラキラしていて憧れるよ。
You're a tough one, Bookworm. I'm almost jealous. You're the pinnacle of fortitude, and I really look up to that.
でも君みたいに強い人ばかりじゃない。君たちが真相を明かせばより多くの悲劇が確実に生まれるよ。
But not everyone can be as strong as you. If you reveal the truth, I'm certain that even greater tragedy will spawn from it.
君の言う通り、厳しい現実よりも甘い嘘の方が心地いいかもしれない。世間なんて気にせず、自分が救われる選択をすべきだ。
True, a sweet lie may be easier to stomach than the bitter truth. It only makes sense to do what will save you, regardless of what the world says.
でも八崎港事件の被害者たちは救われてなんていない。あれは立派な殺人事件だ。
But victims of the Quartering Duke aren't being saved. They're just being murdered, plain and simple.
殺人？誰が殺したっていうのかな。彼らは八崎港という免罪符に自らすがっただけで。
Murdered? And by whom exactly? They're simply entrusting their lives to the Quartering Duke's free pass.
免罪符なんて甘い言葉に置き換えるな。
Don't try to brush it off by calling it a free pass.
断言したっていい。八崎港事件で死んでいった人たちは、たとえ自殺であっても殺されたのと変わらない。
Say what you will. Even if it was suicide, that doesn't change the fact that people involved in the Quartering Duke incidents were killed.
はあ？自らの意志で死んだからこそ証拠も残さずに100人以上も犠牲者が膨らんだんじゃないか。
What? But it's because they chose to die their own free will. That body count is now over 100, and all without a shred of evidence.
何度も言わせるなよ。八崎港が接触せずとも彼らの心は死んでいた。生きることに苦しみ続けた彼らには死ぬ以外の選択肢は残されていなかったんだ。
I won't repeat myself again. Even if the Duke never contacted them, their spirits are already dead. Living on would only make them suffer more.
違う。 死ぬ以外の選択肢がないって思い込んでるだけだ。
You're wrong. All you did was convince them that dying was their only option.
それほど視野が狭まるくらい追い込まれているだけで、彼らだって本当は死ぬ以外の選択肢が欲しいはずなんだよ。
They feel so cornered that it narrows their outlook, but the truth is they're desperate to find an alternative to death.
その選択肢が見えないから問題なんだろ。努力すれば選択肢が増える人ばかりだと思うな。そもそも努力する余裕だってない人もいるんだよ。
But the problem is that they can't see any. Don't assume everybody can pave a new path through hard work alone. Some are too burnt out to make the effort.
死ぬ努力はできるのに。
But they can still put in the effort to die?
努力する理由がなかったなんて、選択肢が他になかったなんてどうしてわかるんだよ。死んでいった人たちと八つ咲き校の間にはつながりなんてなかったんだろう。
Who are you to decide they're at their limit? That no other options exist? Did you say there was no connection between the Duke and his victims?
君はただ死んでいった人たちが自分の思う通りに死んでいったと信じているだけだ。本当に選択肢がなかったかなんて分かりようがないだろう。
You're just projecting, seeing their deaths the way you want to see them. How could you possibly know they had no other choice?
なんだいなんだい。まっとうには反論できないからって答えが出ない問答で煙に巻こうとでも言うのかな。
Well, what do we have here? You can't make a fair argument, so you're muddling the narrative with trick questions.
確かに八つ咲き校事件で死ぬことが本当に幸せかはわからないよ。でも生きることが幸せかもわからないじゃないか。
But it's true. I can't say if dying at a quartering Duke incident really makes them happy, but you can't know if living would make them better off.
少なくとも八つ咲き校事件の死者たちは自分の意志で死こそが幸せだと結論付けたんだ。その行動を誰かに否定される言われなどないはずだよ。
At least the Duke's victims decide for themselves that dying will bring them joy. What reason could anyone have to dispute their actions?
結論付けること自体が罪なんだよ。
Coming to that conclusion is the real crime.
結論付けること自体が罪？
Their conclusion is the crime?
研究棟で社畜さんに問われたよ。自分を犠牲にして命を救うか、見捨てて自分が助かるのか、どちらを選ぶかって。
In the research facility, Workaholic asked me if I would rather sacrifice myself to rescue someone else or forsake them to save myself.
カルネアデスの船板だね。社畜さんは自らの行動で自分を犠牲にする選択肢を取ってみせたわけだ。
The plank of Carneades. Workaholic's actions prove he chose the option to sacrifice himself.
それで無能君ならどちらを選ぶ？やっぱり社畜さんのように自分を犠牲に命を救うのかな？君も彼と同じでいつも他人を心配してばかりだものね。
So, what about you, incompetent? Maybe you'd sacrifice yourself to rescue another. Just like him, you're always worrying about other people.
いや、そんなことしないよ。
No, I wouldn't.
へえ、意外だな。自分さえ生き残ればもっと多くの人を救えるって考えるタイプかな。
Now there's a surprise. So you're the type who thinks that you can save even more lives by surviving, huh?
それも違う。僕はどちらも選ばない。
Wrong again. Actually, I wouldn't choose either option.
気づいたんだよ。その問いかけの結果にね。
You see, I've realized the flaw in this question.
何を言い出すかと思ったら興ざめだよ。どうせどちらも救う道を探すとか言うんだろ。
I was wondering what you were about to say, but then you go and spoil the fun. Let me guess, you try to find a way to save everyone.
いざその現場に立ち会った時にはそんな綺麗事じゃ誰も救えないよ。探偵なんて所詮真実を暴くだけの存在なんだからね。
When push comes to shove, naive sentiments like that won't help anybody. Don't forget, detectives exist to reveal the truth.
分かってるさ。だから僕は状況も知らないまま救うなんて言う気もない。
I'm aware. That's why I don't want to talk about saving people in hypotheticals.
カルネアデスの船板も八つ咲き校もどちらも同じ欠陥を抱えている。 それは二択の中から答えを選ぶよう強制することだよ。
The plank of Carnelius and the quartering Duke share the same failing. Both force a choice between one of two options.
カルネアデスの船板と八つ咲き港が一緒だって。
You seriously think they're anything alike?
そんな詭弁で八つ咲き港を語るな。八つ咲き港は救いなき生を終わらせる救世主。死にたくても死ねない人々にとっての希望だ。
Don't slander the quartering Duke with your fallacies. He's a savior mercifully ending lives. I'll never attain earthly salvation.
同じだよ。君は花から悩みながら生きていくか、死んで楽になるか、そのどちらかしか選ばせないじゃないか。
There's no difference. From the outset, you forced others to choose between a miserable existence or an easy death.
でも現実は問答と違う。死を選んだらそれまでだけど、生きることを選んだ場合は人生が続く。もしかしたら悩むこともなく生きていく選択肢も出てくるかもしれない。
But that isn't reality. By choosing to die, it's all over. But choosing to live may eventually lead to something better.
死を選ばない限り、人の選択肢は無限に増えていくんだ。
Unless someone opts for death, their future prospects are infinite.
黙れ黙れ黙れ黙れ。選択肢が増えるのは天運に恵まれている人たちだけだ。
Shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Only those who win the lottery of life will ever get those opportunities.
生まれつき恵まれない人たちにそれはない。死んだ方が楽に決まってる。
Anyone born without that luck is doomed. There's no question. For them, death will only make things better.
死ねない僕だからこそわかるんだよ。死んで楽になりたいっていうこの国に住む人たちの願いがね。
I can't die. That's why I understand. I truly understand the people of this nation who wish to ease the burden of life by dying.
さっきも言ったろ。八つ咲き港のもとに100人以上の志願者が集まったことが何よりの答えさ。みんなも気づいているんだよ。
Didn't I just tell you? Over 100 people volunteered themselves to the Duke. There's your clear-cut answer. All them open their eyes.
死んで楽になる方がずっと幸福だってね。
They each realized that the ease and comfort of death would make them so much happier.
楽になることと幸せになることは同義じゃない。
Making things easier and finding happiness aren't the same thing.
船板の問題を出された時にも社畜さんに怒られたよ。土地も救うなんて綺麗事は言うなってね。
Workaholic got frustrated when he asked me about the plank too. He told me I should stop idealizing things by trying to save everybody.
この問いかけの厄介なところはまさにそこなんだ。本当はそれほど簡単な二択じゃない。本当はもっと複雑で二択以外の選択肢についても考えられるはずだ。
But that's what bugged me about it. In real life, it's never a simple choice between two options. It's always more complex than that.
それなのに二択を迫る。可能性を極端に絞られてしまう。そんな状況じゃ二択のうちの楽な方に流れて当然だ。
Even still, you're pushed to go one way or the other. With the possibility seriously reduced, anyone would pick the path of least resistance.
似た問題にトロッコ問題というのがあるわね。
The trolley problem presents a similar issue.
一人をトロッコのレールに投げ込めば5人の命を救える状況。それでも8割以上の人はレールに投げ込まないと答えるそうよ。
By throwing one person onto the rails, you can save 5 lives. But apparently over 80% of respondents say they wouldn't do it.
そして自分の選択を肯定できる人はわずか3割。正解のない二択を迫れば楽な方に答えが流れるのは必然なのだと思うわ。
And only 30% of them can affirm their choice. When faced with two unfavorable options, people inevitably gravitate to the easier one.
ヤマトちゃんみたいに強い子ならいいけれどね。みんながみんな強固な意志で決断することは難しいの。
It's one thing if you're strong like Rowdy, but you can't expect everybody to hold that much conviction in their decisions.
その通りだと思います。特に気分が沈んでいる時なんかは余計に視野が狭まります。
Yeah, I agree completely. Especially when you're at a low point, your perspective can become warped and restricted.
僕もこの島の事件ではつい一人で考え込むことが多かった。僕一人じゃこの島で起きた事件は一つだって解明できてない。
During our time here on Morgue, I often found myself wrestling with these thoughts alone. Couldn't have solved a single case on my own.
悩みながら生きるか楽に死ぬかの二択を提示して選ばせる八つ咲き校のやり口も同じだ。
The Duke offers only two options, live and suffer or die in comfort. In that sense, his method is no different.
楽して死ぬことが幸せだなんて限らない。たとえ苦しくても悩みながらでも幸せに生きられる選択肢だってあるかもしれないじゃないか。
Dying to make things easier isn't the only way. Even if it's hard, even if you're struggling, you might still get a chance to choose a happy life.
あるとも限らないだろう。
And what if you don't?
僕だって諦めなければ救われるって信じていたさ。死んでいった人たちだって他の選択肢を信じていたはずだよ。誰だって子供の頃はコウノトリの存在を信じているさ。
I also thought I could be saved if I didn't give up. Everyone who died probably felt the same. Sorry. The way all children believe babies come from storks.
それでも誰しもどこかで現実に打ちのめされる。救いなんてありはしない。自分の人生は悲劇そのものだって。
And yet, everyone gets brought back to reality at some point. They realize deliverance doesn't exist, that their very life is a tragedy.
君に死んでいった人たちは救えたのか。探偵一人に何ができたって言うんだよ。誰も救えない君に八つ咲き子を批判する権利なんてない。
Could you have saved them? You think one detective could have done anything to help? You couldn't rescue anyone. You have no right to criticize the Duke.
死に救いを求めて何が悪いんだよ。
What's so wrong about seeking salvation through death?
悪いさ。だって今君自身が口にした通り。
Everything. After all, you said so yourself.
人が本当に求めているのは死ぬことじゃなくて救いじゃないか。
What people truly yearn for isn't death. It's salvation itself, right? For the first time, the courting Duke is at a loss for words. Without hesitation, I speak my thoughts to hammer my point home.
死ぬことは妥協した結果の手段だ。ただ救いを求めるならもっといい手段が必ずあるはずだろう。
Settling for death is just a compromise. If they truly want salvation, surely there must be some other way of finding it.
君は全体主義を批判していたけれど迷惑をかけずに死ぬという手段自体だって全体主義的じゃないのか。本当に個人のことだけを考えるなら迷惑なんて気にしないはずだろ。
You bemoan totalitarianism, but is dying without rocking the boat any different? Why should they even care if they're only thinking of themselves?
違う。僕は誰にだって救いがある世界を作りたかっただけだ。
Huh? No, you got it wrong. I just wanted to make a world where there's hope of salvation for anyone and everyone.
誰かに迷惑をかけることを恐れる人たちに救いを。
To grant liberation for those who don't want to cause problems for others.
迷惑をかけずに死ぬくらいなら迷惑をかけてでも生きてみせろよ。
It's better to live and cause problems than to die without causing any.
誰に迷惑をかけてでも世界に迷惑をかけてでもまず自分が生きることこそ第一だろ。救いなんてその上で探せばいいじゃないか。
Even if it inconveniences others, or the whole world, living is still your top priority, isn't it? That's when you can start looking for salvation.
世界に迷惑をかけずに死ぬことで救われるだなんてそんな悲劇の結末は認めない。
Finding it by dying with a whimper is a tragic demise. I refuse to accept
君
it.
が作り上げた悲劇は僕がこの手で覆してみせる。
You've created countless tragedies, but I'm gonna turn them around myself.
それが傲慢だっていうのがなぜわからない。
Don't you realize how arrogant you sound?
自分で結末を用意できない人だっている。救いを見出せない人がいる。そのためには八つ咲き校のように心地いい結末を用意する存在が必要なんだ。
There's some who can't reach the finish line alone, who can't see any salvation. That's why the Duke is needed, to usher them into a comfortable end.
それとも悲劇の舞台上で哀れに踊り続けろとでも言うのか探偵。君の方がずっと残酷じゃないか。
Or would you rather force them to continue dancing pathetically as the tragedy plays out, Detective? You're the crueler one by far.
その通りだよ。
Yep, I am. What?
残酷だっていいさ。恨まれたっていい。 それでも僕はみんなを悲劇の舞台から下ろしたりしない。
Hate me. Call me cruel. It's fine. Either way, I won't pull anyone off the stage, no matter how tragic it is.
死んでしまえば舞台は終わりだ。でも生きている限り悲劇は覆せる。幕を下ろさない限り何度だってどんな悲劇だって覆すチャンスはあるんだ。
Once you die, the show's over, but stay alive, and any tragedy can be reversed. Keep the curtain up, and there's always a chance to turn things around.
それは君に才能が。
Yeah, maybe for someone with talent.
僕が無能だったことはよく知ってるだろう。
You knew from the start how incompetent I was.
きっとこの島に来なかったら僕はいつまでも何もできない無能のままだった。
If I hadn't come to this island, I'd probably have stayed my same bumbling self forever, unable to do a thing.
もしかしたら八つ咲き港にすがって努力することも諦めて楽になろうとしていたかもしれない。
Maybe I would have given up on making an effort and offered myself to the Duke, just to make things easier.
でもこの島でみんなと出会えてたくさんのことを学んで僕は強くなれた。誰にだって悲劇を覆すチャンスは訪れるかもしれないんだ。
But instead, I met everyone here, learned, and got stronger. No matter who you are, you may get an opportunity to turn things around.
訪れるとは限らない。
Or maybe you won't.
でもゼロじゃない。死んでしまったらゼロだ。
But it isn't a 0% chance. Dying will make it impossible for sure.
死は未来の自分の可能性を奪うことになる。それは誰にとってでもなく自分自身にとって罪深いことなんだよ。
Death robs you of your future and all its possibilities. That isn't a sacrilege upon anyone other than yourself.
きっと誰もが自分を悲劇の主人公だと思ってる。でも誰もが悩みながら苦しみながら結末を覆そうと戦い続けてるんだ。
Everyone views themselves as the protagonists of their tragedy, but even as they brood and suffer, they're still fighting to turn the tide.
その戦う意志をもうお前なんかに奪わせたりはしない。撲滅なんてされない。偽装探偵に代わって必ず事件の真相を発表してみせる。
I won't let someone like you rob them of their will to resist. No one is getting eliminated. Take out Dale's place and vow to reveal the truth.
無能探偵。
Incompetent detective!
絶対に後悔するぞ。君はヒーロー扱いなんか受けない。
I promise you'll be sorry about this. You won't be lauded as some big hero.
大勢の人の名誉を傷つけた罪人として恨まれることになるんだ。自分の理想を押し付けるエゴイストな探偵としてね。
You'll be cursed as a fiend who dragged the names of countless people through the mud, an egotistical fool blinded by his own morals.
覚悟はできているさ。
I'm prepared for that.
でも無能探偵の名にふさわしい結末だろ。
I'm ready.
誰にも理解されなくたって味方が誰一人いなくなったって僕は
Pretty fitting for a guy called incompetent detective, isn't it? Even if no one agrees, even if I don't have a single ally, I'll...
上司に相談もせず一人で抱え込むんじゃありませんわよ。
Don't go assuming such things without consulting your superior first.
あなた一人に
There they
罪
go.
を背負わせたりするものですか。
Do you truly intend to accept this undertaking all by
無
yourself?
能さん、私もリーダーとして一緒に罪を背負いますわ。これまで死んでいった人たちのためにも八つ咲き港の罪を告発しましょう。
Incompetent, as your chief, I shall bear the blame alongside you. Let us indict the Duke, for the sake of all those we've lost. Posh.
我も背負うぞ無能殿。
I too shall share in your burden, good sir.
確かに死ぬことが救いとなる場合もあるだろう。だが大切なものを救えなかった我だからこそ、自身も死に瀕した我だからこそ断言できる。
At times, one can indeed find succor in oblivion, but as one who has both brushed with death and failed to save those dear to me, I've this to say.
どのような理由があろうとも生きることから逃げてはならないのだ。この武装探偵が何に変えても無能殿を守り抜こう。
No matter the reason, one mustn't flee from their mortal coil. By hook or by crook, I, armored detective, shall protect you, sir incompetent.
少女は意を決して一歩前へと踏み出した。
Making up her mind, the girl steps forward. But this is no time to be...
他人事じゃいられませんね。
Oh. She went back to it. Making up her mind, the girl steps forward. But this is no time to be speaking in third person, is it?
お父さんも渋谷探偵もこの島で散っていった人たちもみんな必死に生きていました。
My father, downtown
他
detective.
の人たちも同じでしょう。
My father, downtown detective. All those we've lost on this island desperately tried to live. And I know for certain that other people are the same.
いくら残酷でも醜くても私もこの世界から目を背けたりしません。無能探偵と共に強く懸命に必死で生き抜いてみせます。
Regardless of its ugly cruelty, I too refuse to avert my gaze from the world. I'll survive along with you, strongly, earnestly, and desperately.
僕は下道探偵に指摘されていた通り、無意識のうちに自分の境遇を傘に来て誰かに守られることが当然だと。
As Renegade said,
自分が悲劇の主人公だと思っていました。
As Renegade said, I unwittingly took advantage of my circumstances, assuming others would protect me. I saw myself as a tragic hero.
ですが、この島で多くの経験をして自分のためにたくさんの人が傷つく中で分かったんです。まず何よりも自分自身と向き合うことが大切なんだって。
But after all I've experienced here on Morgue, I've realized something. Facing yourself is the most important thing you can do.
八崎公、いえ、飛脚さん、あなたも救っただなんて言い換えずにちゃんと向き合ってください。あなたが殺してきたたくさんの命と。
So, according Duke, no, Doleful, you should face yourself properly too. Don't sugarcoat things with lofty words. Acknowledge the lives you've taken.
私も命を懸けて世界を守ろうと思っていたわ。でも無能ちゃん、それに飛脚ちゃんの言葉を聞いて分かったの。
I was also prepared to give my life for the sake of the world. But you know, incompetent, Doleful's words helped me realize something.
この世界はまず他の誰のためでもない、私自身のためにあるんだってね。
First and foremost, being a part of this world isn't for others, it's for yourself.
だから飛脚ちゃん、まずはあなたを捕まえるわ。世界のためにとか関係なく、あなたの生き方がムカつくからね。
So I'll do my part by bringing you in, Doleful. Not for the sake of the world or anything, but because the way you live ticks me off. Oh. Oh. Look at that shot. The morning sun pierces through a world shrouded in the darkness of night. Its rays shine on those gathered around me, casting long shadows upon the ground.
一緒に背負ってくれるんだね。
Can't hear him. Thank you, all of you, for shouldering this responsibility with me.
正気か、正気なのか。探偵同盟の本部からも止められているんだろう。
Are you insane? What are you thinking? Won't the DA stop you?
君たちの味方なんて世界に一人だっていない。それなのにどうしてそこまで。
You guys don't have a single ally on the planet, so why are you so committed to...
それが探偵の仕事だからだよ。
Because that's a detective's duty.
探偵が必要とされるのはいつだって悲劇の後。解き明かせない悲劇と向き合うことが僕たち探偵の役目だ。
They're always needed in the wake of any tragedy. It's our job to face the challenges that no one else can.
他の誰もが目を背けたとしても、探偵だけは悲劇と向き合わなくちゃいけない。だから僕たちは何度だってはっきりと言ってやる。
Even if the whole world shields its eyes, detectives must still face reality. That's why we'll say it as many times as it takes.
先行事件の犯人、それは飛脚探偵、君なんだ。
The culprit of the Court and Duke case is you, Doleful Detective. Everyone faces Doleful. No, the quartering Duke directly. No one's flinching. No one's looking away. Just as the Duke says, it's hard to tout our efforts to reveal the truth as justice. But no matter how many names get dragged through the mud, no matter who criticizes us, No matter what hardship we may face, we will reverse this tragedy, firmly believing that once we do, the brightest future awaits us.
忘れていたよ。
I almost forgot. The quartering Duke chortles on as he raises his knife.
そんなに追い詰められたって僕は不滅だ。絶対に死ぬことはない。
Corner me all you want. I'm still invincible. There's no way I can die.
この状況で SPX に襲われたって、一人総探偵のように正義感の強い誰かが身代わりになってくれるに決まってる。
If the SPX attacks now, I'm sure someone as dutiful as Ideal Detective will come take the hit for me. The quartering Duke slashes his wrist, spraying his blood every which way. In an instant, that dreadful mechanical whirring erupts from close by. Oh, it's activated. Reacting to the quartering Duke's blood, the black SPX springs to life. Not good. If this keeps up, he's going to be killed. Oh. Oh. Is there any sense in saving a mechanical killer? Either way, there's no time for internal debates. Stick to ideals? What? Oh! Whoa! Whoa! I jump in front of the quartering Duke, guarding him with my body.
理想探偵が死んだ時と同じだね。とっさに体が動いたんだろ。
That was interesting. It's just like when Ideal Detective died. You acted on the spur of the moment, didn't you?
後悔しながら死んでいけばいい。
How pitiable. You ought to die with regret for your decisions.
後悔なんてないさ。
I'm not regretting a thing.
絶対に生かすことが僕の覚悟だからね。
Because I'm committed to keeping you alive, no matter what. As the quartering Duke's words reach my ears, my vision goes white. Whoa. Oh shit, we're all fucking fighting this thing in this armor. Just as I'm about to be attacked, armor leaps forward to shield me.
まったくサイカも無能殿も我の大切な者たちはいつも我の先を行く。
Like a day.
強く早くならなければな。
First Saika, and now you, my good sir. All my beloved sally forth without me. Evidently, I must needs become swifter and mightier. You're always looking out for me. Thank you.
我だけではないさ。
'Tis not I alone. The hell?
爆発してくれた。
Nice. It detonated.
美食さんに首輪を外しておいてもらって正解でしたね。まだ首輪はあります。覚悟してください。
It was a good call having Gourmet remove our collars. There's more where that came from, so get ready, guys.
僕が時間を稼ぎますから、皆さんはヘリポートの外へ。
I'll buy us time. Everyone, get off the helipad right now. Everyone moves away from the black SPX at Techi's command. He must have a strategy in mind. I follow, after the others without question.
作戦通りですね。少女はヘリポートの加工ボタンを押した。
All according to plan, said the girl, pressing the button to lower the helipad. Beep boop, beep boop. Before I can grasp the situation, Bookworm dashes to the control panel and operates it, causing the platform to descend with the SPX still on top. No! It tries to move forward. It's like, no!
いつの間にこんな作戦を。
When did you come up with all this?
即席ですよ。あなたのおかげで。
While you and Doleful were probably going back and forth forever. The others are just like whispering to each other like, hey, we're gonna do this. On the fly. Thanks to you, our group has become a lot more cohesive, the girl said, a content smile upon her face.
お待ちなさい。
Hold it right there. I hear a voice call out from behind.
隙を見て逃げ出すと思っていましたわ。私の目はごまかされませんわよ。
I knew you'd look for an opportunity to flee, but you cannot escape my keen eye.
どいてよ。
I do like this music track.
ナイフがあるん
This
だ
one's
よ。
pretty good. I like how it's a weird like breakdown part in the middle of it. It's nice. Out of my way. I'm still armed, remember?
女性の君で捕らえられると思っているの。
You really think a woman like you can do a thing to me?
あらあら、私を舐めていますのね。
Tisk tisk, how unbecoming of you to underestimate my prowess. My prowess. Wata! Oh, she did her thing. Berg. Aposh catches the quartering Duke in the collarbone with a knife hand strike. Unable to react, the Duke topples over from the sudden assault.
インタートーク殿下の宝刀バリッツ。
But
よ
it's
うやく決まりましたわ。
Behold the Pinkerton family trump card, Baritsu. At last it gets its moment to shine. Oh.
まだだよ。僕にはまだ決定的な証拠が何もない。
You still don't have any conclusive evidence.
君たちには逮捕することだってできないはずなんだ。この事件を解き明かすことだってできないんだよ。
You won't be able to keep me behind bars, and you'll never reveal the truth of this case to the world.
そうとも限らないわよ。
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Gourmet stands before the quartering Duke and produces a slip of paper from her pocket that reads, "This button may cause death."
この紙覚えているかしら。下道ちゃんが死ぬ間際、エレベーターのボタンに貼られていた張り紙よ。
Do you remember this? I wonder. It was stuck to the elevator panel when Renegade died.
この紙を警戒してあなたがボタンを押してくれたわよね。
You were worried about this little note, so you pushed the button, right?
それがどうしたのさ。
Well, what are you getting at?
警告を無視して行動したことによる殺傷は過失致死傷罪に当たる可能性があるわ。この場合、本当に過失だったかどうかたっぷり調べないといけない。
Ignoring a warning which resulted in death. That's a potential involuntary manslaughter charge. We'll have to find out just how involuntary it was.
今の行動も含めてあなたには意図的に死を引き起こす疑惑があるもの。余罪も含めてたっぷり調べさせてもらうわね。
There's reason to believe you intentionally caused a fatality. I'll be sure to really dig in and see what I discover about this and your other offenses.
何の権限があってそんな。
Oh, what right do you have?
連邦捜査局の捜査官としてよ。私は探偵同盟のメンバー兼現役の捜査官だからね。
The same rights as any FBI operative, of course. In addition to my role at the DA, I'm also one of their active agents. What? Me and the others are just as shocked. The news did say the FBI had joined the investigation, but to think Gourmet was with them.
私の任務は不滅探偵と呼ばれる人物を確保すること。
My mission was to secure the individual known as Invincible Detective.
任務のために素性を隠し続けてきたけれど、ようやく報われるわ。自分からベラベラと全貌を明かしてくれたし。
I hid my identity all this time for the sake of my duty, but it's finally paid off. You blabbed away of your own accord, revealing the whole enchilada.
下道ちゃんの死だけはあなたの行動が原因だと断言できるものね。あなた、まんまと下道ちゃんにはめられたのよ。
It's left me no option but to assert that you were the cause of Renegade's death. You completely fell for his trap. Him.
最後まであの男。
That bastard. Even at the very end, he...
あなたを逮捕するわ、やつだけ。詳しくは署で聞く。なんてね。
You're under arrest, quartering Duke. We'll get the full story out of you. We'll get the full story out of you back at the station. That's the line I'm supposed to say here, right? Handcuffs click as the Duke's wrists are bound. Robbed of his freedom and the will to resist, he plants his face in the grass and lies motionless. I get the sense we finally brought this long, twisting case to a close. We all look toward the bright light of dawn. In the distance, I hear a steam whistle. The DA's rescue ship has finally arrived.
遅すぎますわ、まったく。
They certainly dragged their feet.
逆にちょうどいいんじゃないでしょうか。八つ咲き子を確保できましたし。
Or maybe they're actually right on time. We've just apprehended the quartering Duke after all.
お腹が空きましたと少女はお腹を押さえてその場にへたり込んだ。
I'm famished, the girl said, clutching her stomach as she sank to the floor.
救助が来るまで時間がかかりそうだし、朝食の準備でもしましょうか。
Seems
単な祝勝会がてらね。
Seems the boat will take a bit. How can I fix us up some breakfast? We can think of it as a little victory banquet.
グッドアイデアなのである。では早速研究棟へと入ろう、無能殿。
A wondrous proposal. Sir Compton, let us make haste to the research facility.
ほら飛躍くん、一緒に行こう。僕たちはこれから長い付き合いになるんだからね。
Yeah. Come on, Doleful. Let's go together. After all, we're going to be spending a lot of time with each other from here on out. The Duke, no, Doleful's head hangs low. I offer a shoulder, but stumble when he puts his full weight on me, his leaden body drained of all strength. But I keep on taking one step after another, supporting him all the while. Who knows what the future has in store? There's no doubt that a tragedy unlike any we've seen before lies in our fate. But even so, there's no way I'll stop walking forward. For the lives of those I called my allies, for those who died by the Duke's hand, and for her, the one who supported me until the very end, I resolve to shoulder all of these lives as I continue living.
さようなら、サイカちゃん。
Goodbye, Saika. I whisper quietly to myself. As I do, I feel a fond and familiar presence from behind. I feel a fond and familiar, warm as the morning sun.
ありがとう、ワト君。
Thank you, Watto. That's it then? Yeah! Oh, we get music we hadn't heard before? Alright, while this is rolling, I'm gonna go get a drink real quick, because we're gonna go, like, right into the New Game Plus scenes. I think they're about half an hour long, but I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, I also brought a cookie. Key change. I will say the topic of, like, you know, suicide or voluntarily wanting to end your life is an interesting topic, kind of. I think it dealt with it pretty well as far as, like, an opinion thing. Oh. Oh, man. I have a piece of cookie. After receiving minor medical attention, we're all ushered onto a boat owned by the DA. The courting Duke, formerly known as Doleful Detective, is restrained on the same ship. No one said anything yet, but I'm sure I'm headed toward a clash with the leader of the DA Vidyoc. After all, if the truth of this case comes to light, the world will probably be thrown into an even greater chaos than the Daedalus Knight had caused. Sorry, I'm gonna chew this a little more. The Daedalus Knight organization to which the Duke belonged isn't my only enemy. I'm sure both the DA and the world at large will denounce me. But still, I won't hesitate. From the bottom of my heart, I've sworn to keep walking this path, for the sake of all my friends who've died as well.
不安じゃないのか?
Aren't you worried?
きっとこの先
Oh, a
は
final
モ
CG.
ルグ島での事件が優しく見えるほど茨の道が待っているぞ。
Make no mistake, the thorny path ahead will make the events on Morgue seem like a cakewalk in comparison.
その道に突き落としたのは君じゃないか。
But aren't you the one who forced me down that path in the first place?
まあその通りなのだがな。
Suppose you have a point there.
しかしそのおかげで君への罪悪感が新たに生まれて、こうして君のそばにまた現れることができたんだ。
But thanks to that, I now feel enough guilt to appear by your side once more.
自分の決断を尊びたまえよ、ワト君。
Have pride in your determination, Watto.
それはそうだね。
Yeah, I will. In a way, I'm glad,
嬉しく
Saika.
思っているよ。
Oh, I think I cut him off. Shit. I don't know if the Saika before me is just an illusion, but the truth doesn't matter. From now on, I'm gonna live for both of us. Together, we can shoulder the role of ideal detective. That's one thing I know for certain.
何を物思いにふけっていますの？大変なのはこれからなんですのよ、リーダー。
Just what are you pondering so deeply? The real trial is yet to come, Chief.
作戦会議をしましょう。今後の課題が山積みです。
Let's hold a strategy meeting. We're still facing a huge number of challenges ahead. Poshinteki's summons brings me to my feet. There's no time to rest. We need to figure out how we intend to close the courting Duke case. The first order of business is already decided. Our plan to outwit the DA going forward needs a concise name. Detectives are vital in the wake of tragedies. In other words, if the world was purged of tragedy, there would be no use for detectives. If we could create such a reality, there's no question it would be a truly peaceful world. That's why we purposely decide on this designation for our future efforts. The Detective Elimination Project. Clever. Fiend. Fiend. Save clear data, sure. Now, does the game even tell you anything about New Game Plus? I'd be curious how it explains it, if it does anything. It doesn't really. Oh, that's not what I meant to hit at all. Okay, well, all right. So in the interest of time, like I said, I pulled up this video. I would never have played the whole game again, just see New Game Plus cutscenes. I found a video. I haven't watched it yet. Don't know what it actually contains. It's about 30 minutes long. In the interest of time, I'm not going to keep pausing to read it. So it is going to be, unlike the rest of this playthrough, we're just going to watch it in real time. If ads pop up, I'll try to mute it in time and everything. I'll get that on the second screen here. Also, in the interest of time, because I don't know what these New Game Plus cutscenes are. I don't know if they're impactful. I don't know if they're good or great or interesting. If we get, it's 30 minutes. If we get like 10 minutes in and I'm like, oh, this is not interesting, then we maybe just not cut it. It might not be the right word, but we just stop. Like, even just save ourselves a little bit of time, right? Kind of depends on what they are. And if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I wanted to see it, you can go find it. So basically, I'll say shout out to, and mind your ears when I pull it up, because hopefully it doesn't blast out your ears when I click it. The channel on YouTube is By Gaming, not but BAI. I would assume BAI space gaming. I'd assume that's how it's pronounced. All New Game Plus scenes. I don't know what this entails, but we're gonna do it. Again, mind your ears.
File your taxes.
File your taxes. Oh boy. We still got time, don't we? Okay. I'm gonna just... Oh, this is... this is... Okay. They have a... just secondary screen. They've got a PayPal on the bottom of the page. That's cool. That's something. I respect it. All right. Let's just see what this is for a bit. Is it like a residual thought? Are they like new game plus residual thoughts?
あの規模の罠を仕込むにはよほど信頼されていた人物が時間をかけて下準備をしていたに違いない。そしてそれが可能な人物といえば
理想殿、換気を続けて研究棟内の空気はあらかた無毒化できたようである。
ああ、武装君。そうか、よくやってくれた。なら早速中の死体の山の移動を始めよう。彼らは皆探偵同盟の同志として共に戦い続けてきた私の家族たちだ。あのように乱雑な状態で放置するなど耐え難いからな。どうした？何か指示に分かりにくい部分でもあったか？
理想殿には家族はいないのか？
だから先ほども言った通り、探偵同盟の仲間たちは私の家族だと。
違う。血のつながった本当の家族のことを聞いているのだ。お主には家族はいないのか？我はお主に面影を感じるのである。昔生き別れた我の妹の
鎧彩花。白い肌に白い髪を持って生まれたために父親から疎まれ、最終的に鎧家のパトロンに提供されたという武装君の妹だな。なるほど。君は妹の正体が私なのではないかと思って探偵同盟へと入ったわけだ。
はあ。
変わらぬ肉親への愛、実にときめかせてくれるな。
やはり彩花だったのだな。ずっと探していたぞ。あの頃はお前を守り抜けなかったが、今の我なら必ず。
しかしその推理は的外れだ。私は鎧彩花ではないし、兄を持った覚えもない。私には肉親などいないよ。期待に応えられなくてすまないが、この話題はここで終わりにしよ
う。
さあ、そんなことよりも職員たちの遺体の移動を始めるぞ。洋館も確かめなければならないしな。
待ってくれ。今さら家族と再会しても意味がないことは知っている。我には彩花の兄を名乗る権利などないし、どれほど恨みを買っているか想像もつかない。しかしそれでも我は兄としてお前を愛し続ける。 危機が訪れた際には必ず駆けつけてみせよう。だから幸せになってくれ。それだけ伝えられれば十分だ。我は災禍を守るために探偵を志したからな。このような危機的状況でお前のそばにいることができて心の底から嬉しいのである。
リーダーである私をお前呼ばわりは良くないな。
すまないのである理想殿。我はとにもかくにも常にお主の味方であり続ける。だから必ず一緒に生きて帰るのだ。我はお主の笑顔を見られればそれで十分に幸せなのである。
Oh shit! Fucking Red Bull gives you wings, guys. I don't know if I'm super compelled by the new Game Plus cutscenes already. Already, I'm doing a quick scan here.
ワト君はどうしているかな。私を妹として思い続けてくれた彼のように君も変わらずにいてくれるかな。
So yeah, it seems like they're unlocked by doing like during when you replay the investigations. It looks like that there are more like residual thoughts to find. And so I'm trying to decide. I mean, do I see these? Do I care? Maybe I watch this on my own? And then we just save time so that we can try to actually finish Demon School now? Oh, Silver Fox. Oh, the moment he got nicked.
このような奇怪な爪を好むのだろうな。文のやつもいずれは派手な爪をつけたいとねだるのだろうか。
Alright, I'm making a judgment call.
黙り込んで撮ったの。
I'm probably gonna watch that on my own at some point. Probably later, even tonight. I don't think watching it on stream is 100% necessary. Not that I think they're bad or anything or not interesting. It's just, you know, I could just do it and be paying more attention and save us some time here for Demon School and stuff. I will say though, not a bad story. I think it slogged a bit, game-wise. I think it slogged, especially in those middle chapters. And I kind of had more hopes and dreams and wishes of the investigation board gamey style, you know, sections. I wanted those to be more interesting, and be used interestingly, but I think the additions they made to those kinds of investigations, like the hidden robot, the invisible robot thing, those were just, I think, bad. I think those were poorly implemented and annoyingly implemented as far as a change and stuff. But overall, you know, I think it ends up just riding the line of being a decently fine, heavy quotes, one of these, end quotes kind of thing. You know, Danganronpa likes, mystery likes, visual novel, anime, visual novel likes. A perfectly serviceable one that had some good moments. Again, some really great characters. Unfortunately for me, some of my favorite characters and character designs ended up getting killed off earlier than later. So maybe that was by design, or maybe I'm just unlucky. But yeah, I kind of felt that way. And yeah, a game that we started beginning of September and then lasted for so long on the channel because, like I said, we back in October then, like, it got put on the back burner for all the October games and then slowly went through it. So interesting little thing. You know, not a bad attempt at one of those types of games, I would say. Just clearly, you know, it's you could tell it was probably of a slightly lower budget kind of thing, so it's not like I was expecting something grand or anything. But yeah, just had a little more hope for, because at the beginning, I thought those investigation scene things were going to be the most interesting bit if they did develop them in an interesting way, or it, you know, did something super interesting. And it was just another way of kind of holding an investigation thing with a bit more numbers and a bit more like planning you have to do. But I had hopes, but as the chapters went on, that would get it more interesting. But it was what it was. Not terrible though, definitely not terrible. And like I said, the last interesting little, you know, stretch there, although they talked about it forever and ever, you know, could probably shorten it a bit in certain aspects. But the last bit of, like, you know, doleful versus incompetent, talking about, you know, what's the right case for things like that, and is at least an interesting topic. So good stuff. I'm gonna take a BRB. Let me see, do I have it already? Perfect. All right, I'm gonna take a BRB. I gotta get a couple things situated, and then we will set in, and we're gonna attempt to finish Demon School. We'll see how long it takes. Be right back shortly.